It's 6:01, call meeting to order. I know we got one addition to the agenda. On the old bus update, we want to talk about electric buses burning up. Mike,
Do we have the bus on it?
Mike, you?
Well, I hear it. I'm just reading the letter.
Okay, well, Dwight had called me and we talked earlier because he thought that's what it was about. He didn't know how we knew about it ahead of time when on Friday we sent the agenda out before the bus burned up.
Right.
So, was that all?
That's all I had, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob, would you throw that garbage you're passing around? Okay, is there any other updates or additions or deletions to the agenda? I don't know, there's somebody, still people in the waiting room. So, okay, if there's no other additions or deletions to the agenda, we'll go to members of the public, and there's a lot of members of the public, so you know what? I'm going to combine public and the staff, if that's okay with everybody, just so that I don't have to bounce around. So I'm going to start with you, members of the public.
Great. So Dana Cerise, Dover resident, Wardsboro mom. And since we're discussing the budget, I was wondering if the board is ever given any information regarding how many families choose to either transfer schools, homeschool, or go into pocket for tuition. I don't know of any families here who've left Wardsboro, but I know of at least 8 that have left Dover under those conditions. So just wondering if you guys ever get those numbers.
So this is not an area where we do back and forth, so if you have something you want to talk about, but yeah, so we'll take that under advisement.
Great, so before we throw good money after bad, maybe you guys should consider that.
Okay.
So what exactly you're asking?
Dwight, it's not a back
Do you
and
get
forth.
information?
I want to know what she's saying.
She's
But do
saying
you
that
get
there's
any
8
information?
families that have left the town, have left the Dover school.
Well, we don't have to talk about numbers, but do you guys ever get any information regarding that?
Okay, I understand.
Okay.
Is that a yes? Do you?
No, it's yes. We understand what you're
Answer your
saying.
question.
Your statement.
But the answer to the question?
Again, it's not a back and forth. You can give us information. You can tell us things you want us to look to, but we're not prepared to speak to that. So that's why it's if you want to give us information, you can give us information. Okay, but it's not a conversation. We're not going to answer questions. We're not going to get into debates.
I wasn't debating. I was just, again, wondering if that information is ever given to the board.
Okay. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you stopping in and coming live. Francesca, Tracy, Kate, Heidi, Mike, Eric Rosenbauer.
Hello, Chair.
How are you?
I'm good. I don't have anything to say.
Oh, okay. We are going to discuss your letter in a little bit.
Happy to do so.
Okay. Jessica Horton?
Nothing to add, thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. Kane Gallagher? Kane Gallagher, you're muted.
Just got it unmuted. Nothing to add. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Heather Moeller? Excuse me.
I'm good.
Thank you, Heather. Kendra Urquhart?
I actually do have something to say today.
Cool.
Okay, so I had to write it out so that I could get it all out. So I'm going to read it to you. So I know that the preliminary budget that's up for discussion today no longer mentions reducing the teaching staff at the Dover School. But I wanted to express my frustration at seeing that proposed because I know I said before, I don't want to downplay or dismiss the concerns of the Wardsboro school families. I think that that's, really important that we're all aware of those concerns and they are really important. But we are constantly told, and we're trying to embrace the idea that we are one school district that operates 2 buildings. And with that mindset, our school district has enough students to support single grade classrooms. We just don't have enough students to support single grade classrooms in 2 buildings. And I strongly believe that reducing the amount of buildings, or in this case, the budgetary impact of a building, is a step that should be taken before creating multi-grade classrooms is even considered. Multi-grade learning is really important, and the multi-grade interactions are very important. And I know that the Dover school students experience that through some intentional and purposefully planned parts of their school day while still maintaining a single grade classroom environment. I'm just hoping that during the discussion of budgets today, it can be clearly laid out what the proposed budget will look like for the classrooms in both buildings. I also wanted to loudly echo what Amanda Georgeson had written to the board back in January. I think it's really important that we see some serious planning for the reality that our school district has two buildings and in its current configuration can't sustain both while still offering the educational experiences that our students deserve. We all saw the hard choices that local towns made at the beginning of this month, and the projections for our student population demands that we proactively plan to ensure that our school district doesn't face a similar situation. I think we're really lucky to have Dover and Wardsboro under the umbrella of the River Valley Unified School District, but I think it's important that we maximize our resources to keep our school district viable and local. And we talk a lot about the state level stuff that's happening, and it might upend our communities. And I would much rather see action taken on our own terms and see changes that work to preserve our school district's local feel. And after following along for nearly a year regarding the IB designation at the Dover School, I'm more concerned than ever that if we don't start taking steps towards consolidation, even partially, that we're going to end up forced into changes on a rushed timeline that we have no control over. So that's all for me.
Hey, Kendra, if you wrote that out, would you mind emailing that to Bob?
Sure.
Okay, and then we'll just attach it to the minutes. That way we get what you were saying without having to try to paraphrase it and stuff.
Perfect. Will do.
Okay, thank you, Kendra, for that. Mark Cerise, I think you're next. Everybody moved a little bit because Kendra moved.
I'm good. I have nothing to add at the moment.
Thank you, Mark. Bridget Cole?
Thank you. Yes, I do have something to add, kind of echoing what Kendra had just said. That I'm here to voice my concern about the proposed changes to staffing at the Dover School for the next year, despite conversations in public sessions on February 2nd, I believe, and the 16th, directing the school district or the district directing the district to make no major changes to staffing at either school. We've gotten word that a Dover teacher is to be eliminated. As you know, the Dover projection is to be at 98 students next year, which is an increase of more than 20%. It seems a little counterintuitive to be considering reducing one of the staff members when the enrollment is projected to increase. We are more than willing to be agile and flexible, as been suggested by the board members, but we question why the staffing decisions are being made behind closed doors and without the best interest of students in mind. The possibility of having a 4th through 6th grade with 2 teachers and departmentalizing is unattainable and not in best practice. Teachers are the ones who work with the students every day, supporting their academic growth, social development, and emotional well-being. And when a teaching position is eliminated, students are the ones who ultimately feel the effects. And they miss out on meaningful projects and small group instruction and personalized learning experiences that can help them thrive. In addition to these changes, we also may forego the interdisciplinary encounters such as Starbase and Keewaydin that give our students life-changing experiences. I respectfully ask that you prioritize maintaining staff members who work directly with students. These are the people who have the greatest and most immediate impact on students' learning and the school experience. Our students deserve the time and attention and opportunities that only well-supported classrooms can provide. Thank you for your time.
Hey, Bridget, it looked like you may have been reading from something. If you have that in writing, can you send that to Bob too?
I actually don't have it
Okay.
in more than just bullet points.
Okay, if you want to send them, we'll add them to the minutes. If not, that's fine also, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Bridget. So I think people moved again, but Valerie Bills. I think everybody's been covered.
Mostly, I'm just here listening to see what direction we're going to be moving forward in. I don't really have anything to add at this point.
Thank you, Valerie. Mark, Anne Marie, Scott. Excuse me.
I'm just listening in. Thank you. Just like Valerie said, I'm checking in to see what direction things are going.
Okay, thank you, Liana Maley. Liana.
I'm all set, thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
You missed Ann Krafchick.
Oh, Anne who?
Ann Krafchick.
Oh, I'm sorry, Anne Krafchick. Sorry.
Thanks. I have nothing to add at this time.
Okay, and we covered mail. Yep. So Caitlin Delaney. Caitlin Delaney going once, twice. Okay, Caitlin, we'll come back to you if you can. If you have nothing, that's fine. If you unmute, I'll see you unmute, and we'll get back to you. Tricia Clark.
All set. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, see, people moved again. Tricia Clark. Amanda Georgeson.
Just here to listen. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Jean Riley. Everybody moves.
Hi, I'm just here to listen. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. We just want to make sure we cover everybody. That's why we go through the list. Janet Rivers.
Hi, everybody. I have a word. I just wanted to. I noticed that the new 27 budget narrative does not have a Dover teacher position being taken away. And I just wanted to know, because as I've been following, I've had, viewed a plan A and a plan B. And then after last meeting, which I wasn't at, and I had to go back and review the paperwork, at the last meeting, there seemed to be this plan C that introduced a teacher being removed from Dover and possible combining of classes. And just because I was not aware of that being brought up, I was just wondering if we could get walked through at some point how that came up and then how it disappeared within the last 2 weeks, because it's been a little nerve-wracking looking at the paperwork and being nervous, and then looking at the paperwork today and then it's not there anymore. And then I also want to make sure that when we talk about the IB and we talk about the grades, if we are still considering, getting rid of the IB program eventually, then it has to be taken into consideration that we absolutely cannot combine grades. And so when we're talking about everything over the next however long to get this all settled, if we can just all be really included in these changes as they happen, because I don't know, in the last 2 weeks, there was just 2 major changes, and now it's, now we're here. So I hope that made sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yep. Are you all set, Janet?
Yes, as long as that's noted.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody's moved again, but I think Jean Riley, you're next.
Oh, I'm all set. I'm just listening. Thank you.
Thank you. Alan Block. We missed you last meeting, Alan. You must have something for us.
I don't, and I wish I could have been the last meeting instead of stuck on the road in an ice storm for 5 hours.
We heard about that.
Yeah, no, I'm just here to enjoy your commentary, sir.
Okay, well, thank you. Patrick Lagrange.
Thanks, Rich. I just have something very quick. Some of you know I'm on the Dover Select Board. I was selected again as I continue as the Dover Select Board liaison. So I'm back for another year. That's it. Thank you, Rich.
Thank you. Congratulations on your election. That was a tough fought race, and I hope you didn't spend too much money. I think I got Rebecca McGrail next.
I just had a lot of the same concerns that have been brought up that Kendra, Bridget, and Janet expressed. that yes, there were some significant changes in terms of the idea of cutting a staff member, and that would assume maybe some combined classrooms, and just have a lot of those same concerns of where those changes came from and big decisions, even in terms of the IB program, which we wouldn't be able to combine classrooms, and no decision's been made on that. So just reiterating all of those thoughts.
Thank you, Rebecca. Carla, a quadrant?
No, I'm just listening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carla. And Hadley King.
Hi, I don't have anything to add, just listening for the same talking points as Kendra, Bridget, Janet, and Becky that they talked about.
Okay. Thanks. You did well to remember all those names. I think I got one person. There was a car that I missed. Caitlin. Where'd she go? Did she get me? Oh, Caitlin, did you have anything? We kind of jumped over you.
No, I'm just here to listen. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. And then somebody just came in an iPad or something. Or did he go away?
Yep, sorry, I'm trying to change my name. Hi there, I'm Ashley Porter.
Hey, Ashley. iPad too. Well, we got you, Ashley. You don't have to change it. Did you have anything, or are you all set?
No, I'm here to listen as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So you've got that? Ashley Porter's iPad? Yeah. Okay. So I think I covered anybody. If we missed anybody, speak now or forever hold your peace for this meeting. Everybody good? Okay. Thank you, everybody, for your comments. I'm going to hit old business. We're going to do a brief Act 73 update. We have 3 items under this. Item number 1, the VSBA sent something out at like 1 o'clock today about an opportunity to testify in Senate Education Committee. And it's got version 2 of the Senator Bongart's map with a list of towns within each supervisory union. I think Dwight's going to speak about the map a little bit because I think there's still some confusion out there about the proposed maps and how the Senate map is broken out. I've got, we have a letter from Eric Rosenbauer to the senators about their map, and I think you're going to talk about that.
Did you want to read the letter first? And then
Okay.
Can you, the first thing you said about the opportunity to testify, who is it coming from? Thanks.
From VSBA.
Is it tomorrow?
It's tomorrow and Thursday and Friday, I
Oh,
think.
so
There's
giving
like
us a lot
3
of-
days.
Okay.
So, yeah, we'll attach this to the minutes, folks, or we'll get it out to everybody if you have any interest. I think you have to register to testify, but we'll get that out. Eric wanted to share an email he sent to Senate Committee on Ed. He was able to compile some state data to further hammer home the point, but not sure what else he needs to see for the map to be adjusted. And basically, good afternoon, Senators. I'm writing regarding Senator Bongart's proposed school supervisory union map. I'm not advocating for a specific district or school affiliation. I'm writing you to address the significant safety risk of his current draft map has. The map has the town of Dover going west into the Southwest Supervisory Union instead of the appropriate direction of east into the Windham South Supervisory Union. With over 25 years of leadership in the fields of emergency management and public safety, and as the former chair of the Windham County Local Emergency Planning Committee, I can attest that Route 9 is extremely hazardous throughout the winter and has several closures and accidents monthly. For those not familiar with the area, Dover only has one road to travel west due to the mountains that separate Bennington and Windham counties. This proposed alignment would have Dover residents backtracking south through the town of Wilmington, then through a dangerous mountain range just to go west into Bennington. This proposal needlessly puts children's safety at risk and does not recognize the geography involved in its current version. My ask is that you recognize the insurmountable real challenges of traveling west and align Dover with the supervisory union of your choice to the east. I would be careful of that because they may put us somewhere really east.
Mm-hmm.
They may kick us out of the state. With data collected from the Vermont State Police Daily Log, the Vermont Agency of Transportation data page, and Department of Public Safety VM Daily Situation Report, and dedicated social media page, you can clearly see the danger. Below are listed dates of road closures on Route 9 between Wilmington and Bennington only. These closures are in addition to the several state mandated chain-up orders given this winter. Majority of these closures are due to commercial vehicles and personal vehicle accidents. These closures only reflect from the beginning of 2026, not the entire winter. Closures range from 15 minutes to 12 hours, depending on severity. Here's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19 closures between 1 and 3, looks like 3, 6. So it's not even the full month of March. So it's really two months. Travel is so hazardous, the dedicated page was created to share in the moment dangerous road conditions, and he gives the Facebook page. Thank you for your time, and please alter the proposed map so that Dover continues traveling to the east. So we'll include that in the minutes also. And go ahead, Dwight, you want to speak at that?
Oh, thanks, Rich. Yeah, and thanks, Eric, for that letter. And it is a good point to point out, the a lot of concerns that people have regarding transportation and the different schools that they may have to go to. One thing I do want to point out, though, is that we talked about at the last meeting, and I will have to give kudos to the Valley News if you have a chance to read the article about last meeting. They did a good job of explaining what we talked about at the meeting, and that is the two maps that are being designed, one in the House Education Committee and one in the Senate Education Committee. And the one you're referring to, the Senate appears as we're on the western side of the state, and this House one appears that we're on the eastern side of the state. So we're kind of in two directions. But I'd like to point out that the maps only tell half the story. Not only are they different maps, they're totally different structures for our district. Whereas the House map has us in a supervisory district, which means we would be required to go to the school in that district that they choose. Whereas the Senate, the Bongarts one, has us in a supervisory union, which we're in now, which means we would maintain school choice and we would have the ability to attend the schools that we're currently attending. So that map that you're referring to doesn't mean that we're all going to be heading over to Bennington. We would still have access to the schools we currently have, as I understand it. So I just wanted to point that out.
Okay, thank you, Dwight. So again, pay attention because it's constantly changing. There was a little carve out for it's crossover where major bills are supposed to cross from the two chambers. And last year it looked like education reform was dead in the water, and then it got revived really last minute, and we wound up with a whole bunch of rules and laws that are very difficult to follow. The other thing is, the last thing under Act 73 update, the town of Dover at our town meeting had the honor of having both our senators and our representative come to the meeting, and they each did about 20 minutes. So Nader Hashim is one of our senators, and he is on education. So I did ask him at that meeting if he would come and talk to us, and I'd like to have it as more of an open, not really a school board thing, but where anybody can ask him questions, and we would have to limit it. I'm not sure if he's going to come live or if he's going to be. He may do it via the Zoom meeting, but he is going to. I did ask him to come to our next meeting. First thing to speak about the bills, and hopefully there'll be some more clarity on maybe where they're heading, and we can maybe, I called it at the town meeting, stump the senator with lots of great questions. So if y'all can gather up your questions. Yes.
When are you planning on?
Next meeting.
Next meeting. Okay.
Yes. because it's still fairly early in the session, and they are taking testimony, and we won't be meeting the week after, but we'll meet the week after that. So hopefully some of that testimony will filter out, and we'll see where the mapping's going.
We may be able to have an opinion as a board as well if we want to move in that direction. They are taking testimony from different school boards and different groups as well.
Yeah. But there again, too, the important thing, and a lot of people really don't understand it, there is a huge difference between a supervisory district. Springfield is a supervisory district. Everything, there's one superintendent, one principal in each building, and one board. And you don't get to go wherever you want. A supervisory union, which we are, is a conglomeration of school districts, and it was formed to help with administration. So obviously the high school in Wyndham Central is Leland and Gray, but not everybody goes to Leland and Gray. So I think that's a difference between a union, and just because if we get stuck if we get placed in a supervisory union over in the West, it doesn't mean we all have to go to the West. We will still have school choice like we do now, but they're also trying to limit our school choice. They're trying to say you pick 2 or 3 public schools only, and there may be an exception for the academy. So St. Johnsbury Academy, Burton, and what's the third one?
Linden.
Thetford. Linden. There's 4 academies, and they've kind of acted for over 100 years as like the public high school. It's just they're not a public high school. Okay, is everybody good with that?
Thank you, Rich.
It's clear as mud. Kate and Mike, are you good out there in TV land?
I'm all set, thank you.
Kate shaking her head yes. Okay, we're moving along to the thing everybody wants to see. So operating budget, discussion and possible action. Heidi's on TV land because Heidi was had something else going on. So instead of making her fly over to Wardsboro, I just want to address a couple concerns. So a lot of people thought that stuff was being done behind closed doors and in secret, and it kind of was, but it had nothing to do with the board. After the last meeting, in the last couple meetings, we've asked the supervisory union, our chief financial officer, Heidi, and our superintendent, Bob, to meet with the 2 administrators and put together an educationally sound budget. And any of the budgets that have not been influenced by the board. We've talked about them. We've made some suggestions. We had some meetings in December and January to try to see where everybody was at, what people are thinking, was there places that we could have some combinations for savings. We looked at maybe having, combining some stuff into one building or the other building. And a lot of that we have kind of determined, because so much is in flux with the state, we're not looking to make any major changes. We're not looking to close a building. We're not looking to move a lot of grades. We're just looking, were there any efficiencies in the buildings that could be saved, because our total numbers are going down. And remember, we're one district and our total district numbers are going down. Our secondary is going down pretty heavily. I think we've cut a few $100,000 in the last budget presentation for less in tuition. Even though tuition's going up, we're going to have less tuitioning students. And we have looked at enrollment numbers and how many people are going to be in each of the grades in each of the buildings. We've also looked at numbers, birth numbers, and we asked Bob to do a comparison of the births in the 2 towns versus how it compares to where our student population is going, to see if that is still true. And it's not the board, it is our educators, it is our educational leaders, the supervisory, the superintendent, and the 2 building administrators who are the ones who are making these suggestions. The board did not say you had to reduce any positions, combine any grades. We just asked for them to give us an education sound budget, which has changed a few times. So, Bob, I think Heidi, want to run us through this latest version of the budget?
Surely. So if you start with the narrative page, which is misnamed. It isn't really a narrative, it's a list. But it's the cover page, if you will, of the budget packet.
I don't think we got that. Bob.
Yep, should be, it's this right here.
Oh,
Should be in your packet.
okay, well.
And it outlines a couple of key reductions from last year's budget, some additions from last year's budget, and then some basic information at the bottom. So, and I was add on to what Rich said. So yeah, there's been changes. There's been lots of changes. There's been lots of conversations ongoing. As we have different ideas, we hear different feedback from people. We rethink things. Circumstances change. We rethink things. It's part of, I think, what the board charged us with the idea of being agile and creative and thinking how to move forward in a way that provides the best possible education for kids as well as financially, reasonable expense to taxpayers, I should say. So we'll just go through the list here. So we have a reduction in PE in Wardsboro, which actually it should be 0.2 from 0.4 to 0.2 FTEs. This does not change the amount of PE service that students receive at Wardsboro. It just means it happens on 2 half days rather than 2 different full days. There is a reduction in Spanish from 0.4 to 0.2 in Dover. That puts Spanish in alignment with the other specials in Dover around a 1-day week, and with the exception of PE, which has to be 2 by law. A reduction sorry.
Does that lower the amount of time that students get with Spanish?
Yeah, it goes from 2 days a week to 1 day a week. Yep. A reduction in general music. This goes from a 0.5 position to a 0.4. This again, I believe does not change the actual general music instruction to elementary schools. Tracy's shaking her head, so that's correct. A number of years ago, you guys had added some, I think we called them behavioral pairs to support some of the challenging behaviors that we're seeing coming out of COVID. There's a reduction of one of those positions, which will be vacated, so it'll be through attrition anyways. And around the same time, you guys had increased the counseling numbers, so there was a full-time counselor in each building, and I think now the principals have spoken together, and we believe that that one full-time counselor shared between the 2 buildings would be sufficient for the needs that we have. They would see basically 4 days a week at Dover, 1 day a week in Wardsboro, and that even with the 1 day a week, Francesca believes that that's enough to cover the needs that she has here. There's some reduction to after-school expenses, which I don't believe dramatically changes the offerings, the length of time or any of that. It's more bringing things in alignment with some of the other costs of after-school programming in other places. The big one that Rich referenced, there is a significant reduction in tuition, but that's really the secondary level because there's fewer kids, so there's fewer tuition dollars needed to cover that.
So if you look at that, Bob, 405,000, if we roughly 25 a student, say, so that's pretty close to 16 students. And if you go down,
21 students actually.
How much?
21 students.
Okay, and then if you look at our long-term weighted average daily membership on the bottom, we went from 389 to 402. So
all the way around.
It's pretty close.
It's a 3% reduction.
No, but how many students is it? It's 89 to roughly.
You're talking tuition. You're talking
weighted.
real students. These are talking weighted students.
I know, but I think when you look at the weighted, because if it's 21, we're not going to go down 21, but our long-term weight is going down.
It's going down.
Equivalent.
And it's a 2-year rolling average. So that's where you're seeing that as well.
Students between for all students?
Yes.
Yeah, we don't separate out the secondary tuition students.
Okay, it includes secondary. Just making sure.
No,
Okay.
it's only secondary.
secondary.
We don't tuition any other students.
Okay.
We only tuition secondary. Everybody else from pre-K through 6 go to one of our buildings if they want to go.
But we're basing it on
there's fewer
Right.
secondary students in the district than there were.
Right.
And so,
So we have to lower the budget everywhere.
No,
well, you're paying less out,
Right.
right? So you don't need to budget as much to pay out next year.
it's
Okay.
it's a tuition. The secondary tuition
Mhm.
line item is down about 405,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's not any reduction in either one of the buildings.
Okay.
It's what we budget for secondary to pay to other schools.
What Rich was adding on to that is that the flip side of that is, or what goes along with that is you have fewer students, and therefore your cost per pupil is going to go up. Because you have
Overall.
long-term waiting items going down.
Right. And the amount of money we're going to get from the state for our students is going to go down because our numbers are down by 3%. But it's not a one-for-one thing, because if you look at it, you got 402.3 to 309.97. There is no 0.3 student that we're educating.
Right.
Okay, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, no worries. We listed the IB cost just because we know that's going to be up for discussion, but that's just there as a placeholder. The budget addition, so this was something Dwight had asked for a while back, was the healthcare cost. So there's 35,000 increase in healthcare. The SU assessments, when you combine them all, is $242,000 to almost $243,000 increase in assessments.
Excuse me.
Yep, sure.
Could you explain what that actually is?
The SU assessments?
Yeah.
Yep. So the supervisor union develops a budget in the fall, and so that funds, in essence, my office, the business office, and all what we call the MTSS budget, which is special education and academic support teachers. It also has technology, the IT department is built into that as well. And then what we do is we take that budget, once the SU board approves that budget gets sort of billed out to each of the districts to pay for it based on the number of students in the district. I'm trying to keep it simple. And then you guys pay your portion of that to operate the supervisory unit. So that assessment, the reason that it's going up so significantly isn't because the actual expenses are going up in their budget. It's because there's a loss of revenue from the federal government built into that. So the cost, for example, the special ed budget, the MTSS budget was, I think, a 3% increase over last year. But the assessment of that was like a 25% increase because of the loss of revenue. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about the SU. Actually, let me finish this first, and I'll come back to the SU. Because there are some things that we're trying to do to streamline things there as well. There's about a $10,000 increase in transportation costs, and these are your contract providers basically. I mean, it's the Wardsboro transportation through West River, and the cost to transport students to BUHS using West River's bus. They jump on with the Career Center students. And then the food program, the nutrition program also has an increase of about 10,000. It includes some staffing adjustments, food changes, food cost increases. There was a third thing you told me, Heidi, I forgot what it was. What was the third thing?
Is it salary and benefits?
So, the employees themselves, yeah. Salaries, benefits, and food costs, right?
And food, yes.
Yeah, so there were 3 things. So that's a total of,
Can you expand on that at all? Either of those things, the reason for the increase in transportation and nutrition? Not that I'm opposed to nutrition, but is it just, we're not improving the meal program or changing any of that, it's just salaries?
because so you guys basically have a contracted service here, so you don't have, otherwise this would be included in like a salary line somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But you have an agreement with West River to provide food in your kitchens, and so this is basically just an increase in the cost of doing that.
Okay. Is that a large increase from year to year?
I don't know what the percentage is on that. Heidi, do you have that?
From what they paid last year or overall for West River?
We just started last year, correct?
Right, and so it's a $10,000 increase from what you're paying in the current year to what's budgeted for next year.
So, go ahead.
I was going to say, which covers the salary and benefit increases that West River is absorbing with staff that go to Wardsboro, staff that work at Dover, and then the cost of food has been increasing a lot.
Yeah.
And so West River's taking the bulk of that, obviously, because they have the most staffing, but we had to increase some for Dover as well because they can't continue to contract for what it was this year.
Can we get any more like like, are there other schools that they contract to, or is it just Wardsboro, or is everything else part of?
Wardsboro and Dover.
Okay, so is there any past kind of numbers that we can get to compare it to? Because I just don't
Well,
feel
in
like
the past, we had our own people.
right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's any other comparative numbers or
So
how they.
what's the total amount that it's increasing? $10,000, I think.
Yes, to 187,000.
Yeah.
What I can do is give you the numbers for what it cost. It was around 200,000 for your previous year when you had two different staff members and you were paying for a contracted service to Wardsboro, but you were incurring all the cost of your own food and two staff members.
So, but the increase percentage-wise is what? Roughly. Yeah. Over, this year over next year, over proposed.
Okay, hold on 1 second. It is roughly a 5% increase.
So, I mean, that can be food alone.
Right.
Food's increasing 10%.
Healthcare costs and some
Right.
increases.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think it's a pretty reasonable cost, and I think we weren't able to do it on our own, and that's the reason we made this change. And if we were trying to do it on our own, our increases could be even higher because of health insurance. And I mean, it's almost a crapshoot on, who's in there at the time. And we could even plan for this year, and next year it could change.
Do you think that the transportation is along the same lines, gas and healthcare? That
electricity.
Also, with transportation, you had no increase for the last 2 years. So it is, and part of that was my mistake. I missed it last year. So the 10% increase is actually what could be looked at over 2 years. And the contract with West River Transportation does increase by 5% every year.
like contractually?
Contractually,
Okay.
yes.
But we don't get involved. We don't negotiate that. That's something that West River and the central office negotiates. Transportation's through the central office.
Got it.
So those additions, as you can see, just under 300,000. And then you have the 595,000 from above. So the overall budget is down 68 grand, or about 1% from last year. But again, we mentioned that we wanted to have that as close as we could correlating with the enrollment drop. We know that's not a dollar for dollar in that regard because it costs more to educate fewer kids on a per kid basis. So it's on the economy scale in a bigger place. So so it's a 3% reduction in our long-term weight ADM, but a 1% reduction in the budget. So those are the kind of key elements of it. I don't know if folks want to go line by line through it, or if you have questions about those things or questions about other things.
Can you just highlight those items that have changed since the last one we were given and looked at? Heidi or Bob?
Yeah, I would say that we had, so the last one you looked at did have a reduction of a professional staff member in Dover. It had a half a reduction in counseling, and it did not have the reduction in the para. It did have the PE and the music. Maybe it didn't have the music. It had the PE and the after school, and obviously the tuition stuff. It did not have the Spanish reduction, although that had been brought up at one point during one of the earlier plans. And
there was one other thing that I missed last time, which was a 3-week summer camp. Tracy and I hadn't talked about it, and I missed it until we went back and spoke about it. So I've added in some summer camp expenses for 3 weeks, which I'm assuming the board wants, since last year we had removed it and the board asked to put it back in. Or I should say this last summer.
That in here, did you say?
Yes, that is.
It is in the new budget, and it wasn't in the one I presented last week or last time. So that's about a $30,000 increase.
but we didn't list that as an increase because it wasn't an increase over FY26.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's different in the budget.
Different than what the last budget was.
Right. And this is this is an increase. This budget narrative is comparing this proposed budget to last year's budget.
Correct.
We're not comparing the last budget to this budget.
Correct.
Correct.
Last budget that was presented. Okay. So, are there any questions, Kate, for next time we get to play Stump the Senator? This time you only get to stump the superintendent or business manager.
Well, I was lucky. I got kind of a preview the other day when we set the agenda. So I heard that we were not actually reducing a full-time staff member, a professional staff member in Dover the other day. So the biggest question that I have for you guys, does this provide an educationally sound experience for our students on both campuses?
Yes. I would say that they are like they have been. They're not equal experiences. They're not the same experiences. But I think we believe, and I mean, I won't speak for the two principals, but I believe that they're equitable experiences. To the extent that we can provide, yeah.
So they're not equal, but they're equitable.
Yeah. So the difference there, Kate, is if you and I have to stand and look over a fence, and I can see over the fence and you can't, and we give each of us a milk crate to stand on, and you still can't see over the fence, but now I'm really above the fence. That's equal. We both have a milk crate. But it's not equitable because you still can't see over the fence. So equitable means that I give you both milk crates. We both can now see over the fence. So when we talk about those terms, that's how I think about them and define them. Equal means the same. Equitable means that you have sort of an equitable opportunity for the same types of things. We recognize, as I think has been pointed out in the comments earlier, that the experiences are different in the two buildings. One has multi-grade based on lots of reasons, and one does not. One has Spanish as part of an IB larger initiative, and one has STEAM funds going into it for other types of experiences. Both have special education services, both have academic support services, both have library, art, phys ed, music, counseling, nursing, all those things that and Dover has a little more of it, or in some cases a lot more of it, depending on what the thing is, because the numbers in Dover are higher than the numbers in Wardsboro. But like a kid's access to something would be considered equitable, even if the staffing of those positions are not equal.
Okay, so if I look at it another way, if I look at student to teacher ratio in each building, are they equitable?
I mean, that's a tougher one, and I think that's part of the lack of economy of scale with size. I mean, certainly what we have in Dover, when you have single grade classrooms, you have some variability from year to year and what those look like. And in Wardsboro, those things are more equalized because they're multi-grade. Doesn't mean it's always clean. We know this year there's been quite a difference between a sixth grader's experience at Dover versus a sixth grader's experience at Wardsboro. That's been well documented. We've talked about it, but I'm not sure a better way to do that without blowing up the system as you currently have it. You know what I mean? So yes, if all the kids were in one building, you would have a much more equal experience, but depending on where that building is, it wouldn't be equitably accessed by all students. So like there's trade-offs that we have to reach that, I guess is how I would say that. So yeah, it's a tough one. It's not the same. No.
And I know we are looking at making some tough cuts. Do you guys have the data on how many students were serviced or were utilized with the summer camp program? Like how many kids utilized that? And I thought it was only a 2-week program. I didn't think it was a 3-week.
2 weeks this past year because of the roof repair.
Okay.
But I think it had been 3 historically.
Yes.
I don't know the numbers. Tracy, maybe you have those numbers off the top of your head? Maybe not.
It was on average between 40 and 50 students a day.
And with the 3 weeks, Tracy, that's not going to change much. It wasn't so much the number of students because of the day. It was just
Fewer days, yeah.
Yeah, no, but it was fewer days. But if we stretch it out, are those, if you had 2 weeks at say 50 students a day, you had 250 student days. If we go 3 weeks, are we still going to have 250 student days, or could we be up to,
I see what
over
you're saying.
300?
Yeah. What did you get prior when you used to have 3 weeks? Was it similar numbers that you got this past year?
I think so.
And
I mean, it's always been 40-ish students in my 3-year experience. I don't know before that. That I would have to ask Crystal who ran it. I don't know.
I think that. Kate, does that answer your question?
That does. So I think that's something we should think about if we have to do any more trimming and things like that. We should think about the different experiences that we offer and what the value of the educational experience is.
Are you all set then, or anything else, Kate?
No, that is all. Thank you.
Okay, Mike, we're gonna cover the TV folks first. So, do you have any comments?
Yes, sir. No, I'm just tickled that we clarified the full-time position. No, I'm happy. It seems like we're going in the right direction. Little hostile beginning, but we're squaring it up and putting our correct foot forward. Yeah, I'm not fancy enough to be on this and read the email to follow along, so I'm like really scrapping on scraps here. Just trying to write numbers down as we go because I don't want to log out or do something fancy. So that's the best I got.
I feel your pain, Mike. I would be in the same boat. Believe me, you. Eli, alias Levi.
Nothing I could talk about. But otherwise, yeah, I'm happy to see the counselor position reduced, not see a teacher position reduced.
Okay, you set then, boss? Meredith.
I think as far as what we just discussed, my only concern, as I've said from the beginning, is the Spanish teacher. I think it's such an important thing for children. And since we have not we haven't made a decision on removing the IB program, it seems like an integral part of that. I think the teacher is really strong. And I don't know if we've discussed with her going from 1 to 2 to 1 day a week, whether or not she'll still, do we know that she'll still, we don't know that.
I don't know the answer. I'm not sure we can.
Yeah, just so you know, when we do a budget, we can't talk about people. We have to talk about positions.
Okay.
It's
I think
not about.
I think the Spanish program would be a shame to lose. I think it's such a good thing for children to be learning while they're growing, and I think it's one of the kind of accelerated programs or things that advanced students can attach onto that we don't have a lot of that. I think most of the stuff caters to bringing kids up rather than
enrichment.
And it really pains me to see that being removed.
Is that it? All set?
As far as what we've gone over, yes.
Okay. Dwight?
Yeah, thanks, Rich. Just to kind of piggyback on what Meredith was saying, just kind of trying to understand the reasoning. I can understand some of the behavioral people, the reasoning for removing those. But what's the reason behind reducing? Looks like we're reducing PE, Spanish, but I think music, I guess, stays the same. It's just the way it's restructured. Is that the way what you're saying? I guess it's just those two things. Is it because there are fewer students, or you feel as though the fewer days will provide what we were previously providing?
Yeah, well, in the case of music, for example, I think each building will have a day. With that still in place, I think the extra half day that existed was built in initially for travel between the buildings, or to do some extra types of work. and it is not going to impact sort of the general music curriculum of meeting with each classroom and doing those things.
Mhm.
So it felt like it was an opportunity to shave a little bit. It's not, it's not tons of money, but it does help contribute to a little bit tighter budget without taking anything away from kids. Just the logic.
Mhm.
What was the other question?
Is Spanish to reducing, things like reducing 1 day in Spanish and reducing, if I read this right, 2 days for PE, is that correct?
Well, the PE, it's going from 2 to 1.
2 to
but it
1.
But the way that I think that it's being structured in Wardsboro is that it's now, the 1 day will be 2 half days. And so the students are still gonna, the number of classes that students get at Wardsboro will not change. They'll still get it twice a week.
Just 2 half
Same
days.
length of time. It'll just be, the teacher will be just serving them in a different way.
Okay.
And some of this is based on the demands of the person, and some of it is based on the need for us. But we are required by law to get 2 days a week for every kid in phys ed, and we are.
Mhm.
We're meeting it, and we will continue to meet that.
Is it required to? Okay.
Yeah. And the Spanish one,
You just talked
I
about
agree.
that.
The enrichment piece is certainly tough.
Yeah.
It's the one thing that is sort of above what is typical. But we felt that having sort of some equality in this case around how many days per week kids get specials was to try to keep them the same. Just felt like it made sense. And again, a way to take some money out, but
Yep.
the board can do what they want with that.
Okay.
But yeah, that's sort of where those came from.
All right, I had one more question. I'm happy to hear we're not removing a teacher in Dover. Just kind of, if it's okay to ask, what the reasoning was that why it was in the last budget, and what changed from that budget to this budget where it was decided to be reinstated? What
Yeah,
if you can walk me through that?
It's a fair question. Yeah, I think probably the best way to answer it is that we were trying all sorts of things on and trying to figure out how it could work, what it would look like. It was an idea that was has a way to do it. I mean, it's viable. The departmentalization of elementary schools is something that does happen in places. It's not out of touch with what's going on in education. We were doing it, I think, initially as a response to some of the smaller numbers in the upper grades at Dover. And then I think part of the reality that strikes is that those smaller grades, as they move on, the bigger grades come up, and then it makes it complicated. How do you deal with that?
Okay.
And so we recognize that if you are going to have a multi-age situation or one less teacher at Dover, you would want it in the upper grades, not the lower grades, for lots of reasons around literacy and such we get into. But as the bigger classes moved their way up there, we just try to figure out, does it really make sense? Is it doable? Absolutely. Is it the best way to save money? Maybe not. And so that's where we kind of went back to the drawing board and come up with some of these other ideas.
Okay, thank you. All set.
Okay. So last year we brought to the voters a budget of $6,920,549, and this year we're bringing to them a budget of $6,852,208, which is $68,341 or $42 decrease, and about 1% less. But again, we do have less students. We spent some considerable time meeting with parents, staff, administrators. We took information from folks. We looked at maybe combining buildings, closing a building, not closing a building. I think right now, with what's going on in the state, it's a bad time to close a building. So I'm glad that we decided not to move that way, to keep the buildings open. I'm glad that we're pretty much keeping things as status quo for this year, because unfortunately we have no clue what's going to happen in Montpelier and what the legislature's going to do. And I'm not going to say they, because I get beat up. I want to make sure I'm identifying who that is, and we don't know what the legislator's going to do to us. We hope that they're going to give us the kind of money they said they were going to give us. But again, they're moving towards a foundation plan, which will probably force us into making some changes in the future. They may decide to close a building on us, and we may not have a choice. They may decide to close both our buildings, and they may put us in with Burlington, who knows? So I think for us to be in the best position to help move us forward and to help protect what we've grown for years in both Dover and Wardsboro, my suggestion is that we, and also the unknown that kills us is, who knows what can happen. We could have 100 new students move in between now and next year. What's going on overseas, what's going on with fuel prices, or we could have 100 students move out. It's such a fluid thing. I think I would like to, if we get this budget passed, I would like to charge our administration to work on a plan that we tried to do in Dover to over 25 years ago, which is to come up with a system that will allow for fluctuating numbers between the buildings and to be able to be fluid so that we can adjust when we get big changes. I just don't think we have time to do it this year. And I think we wanted to have these discussions earlier in the summer, but we didn't know what the state was doing. We wound up having to fight some stuff with the mapping, and we did get that to be postponed. Some of those original maps you're looking at in June and July last year were pretty brutal. So my suggestion is this is a really good budget. We can bring the tax rate in probably, and we'll do that next, close to what it was last year. We're going to use reserves, but we have a history of doing that every year. It's nothing new. I think that this $6,852,208 budget is really an appropriate budget, and I would like to see us move this forward and present this to the voters at our district meeting. It doesn't change a lot. It makes a few changes, but we also have less students. And I think it's a good budget, and I think it was well done. And I do appreciate that you folks, the administration, I better be specific, I don't want to be, but that Heidi, our superintendent, and our two building administrators worked hard to put together something that was appropriate. And it's very rare that we see numbers go down even when our numbers have dropped. This is, our FY25 actual was 6,000,006. We were up to 6,000,009 last year, and we're coming in lower than that number. We're coming in only a little bit over a 2-year ago budget, which isn't bad with what we've had for inflation in the last 2 years and what's going on with costs and food and healthcare and salaries. And I don't know what else we can do. So if somebody would like to make a motion, I think we should have a motion a second. We can discuss it and go. And then don't forget to, the voters get a chance in April to tell us what they think. Don't all jump at once.
I'll tell to it. I move that we approve the proposed fiscal year 27 proposed budget in the amount of $6,852,208. Did I get that right?
Yes, perfect.
Thank you.
And there's no pennies there. Did you like
No,
that?
I like
Because they
that.
don't make pennies
Keep it-
anymore, so we can't
right.
have that.
Well, yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay, do I have a second from anybody?
8 seconds.
Thank you, Kate. So we have a motion to approve an operational expenditure budget of $6,852,208. Is there any discussion on that motion?
I guess I'd just like to know, because Bob said that he didn't know if the Spanish teacher would stay if their position
It
was
doesn't
vacant.
matter if the Spanish teacher will stay or not.
Okay.
We're creating a position. If that person doesn't want to fill that position, they have the right not to sign their contract, and we'll go look for another Spanish teacher. It can't be about specific people. We can't build budgets on what a person's going to do, or we'll just be held hostage. And we've never done that in the past, and I think it would be a very bad precedence to start now.
Okay.
But again, you can vote no, and if enough people vote no, we can go back. Kate or Mike, any discussion?
All set.
Kate?
No, I think we've had a lot of discussion. I think we've had a lot of different perspectives, and I think we're doing the best we can, and I look forward to sharing it with the voters.
All set, sir?
Yep.
Bart, do you have anything else?
No, I'm good.
Meredith?
Yeah,
Pardon?
I'm just not.
Well, hearing no other discussion, all those in favor of the motion to approve operational fund expenditures in the amount of $6,852,208 signify so by saying aye.
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 I don't know.
Okay, it does not appear to be a unanimous decision, so we're going to do a roll call vote. So, if you're in favor of a $6,852,208 operational fund expenditure, Kate,
Aye.
you're going to need to record this, okay?
Yes.
Thank you. Mike,
Aye.
sir?
Aye.
Well, Meredith is actually next.
Yeah, Meredith.
I'm gonna abstain.
Okay, Dwight?
Aye.
Okay, it appears to be 4 ayes and 1 abstention. The chair will go with the majority. So we have adopted an operation fund budget for the 2027 FY27 of $6,850,208. Good job, folks. Okay, so we have Greg on the phone. Greg on TV, I'm sorry. Greg?
Hello, sir.
How did we get by? Oh, nothing. Greg, I'm sorry. We got a capital fund expenditures.
Oh. Okay.
What are we gonna? What do we got for numbers? I know that we have that form.
When I met with them, we talked about pushing everything out at least a year. You do have a boiler in Dover, but the reality is you guys have money in reserve. So if we have, if something happens, we're in good shape. I mean, you look at the projects we've done between the two schools in the last couple of years. I think we're in pretty good shape to go ahead and let this ride without a capital project this year. I just think it, with the increases you're going to have, this makes sense, and you're in a good spot to protect you're protected with what you have in savings. So I'm comfortable with it if you all are.
Pardon?
So you're right.
Well, hang on a second. Okay, thank you, Greg. Meredith, do you have something?
Oh, no.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry. So you're recommending there's no project? You have nothing to do this summer? What's that?
I'll always have things to do, Dwight.
Wow. Okay. Well, that can happen.
But what he's saying is there's nothing, Greg, if I'm paraphrasing you, there's nothing that's pressing, and even the one thing that you may wanted to try to do, which was a boiler over in Dover, there's 2 boilers, and if we need to, there is enough money that we could fix that if it became an emergency, or we could replace it if we had to, if it all of a sudden stopped working in the middle of January.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Infrastructure-wise, we're in fairly good shape. We don't have any major HVAC equipment that is dated and past. And when we just did the boilers in Wardsboro, we've done the paint in Wardsboro, we've done the windows in Wardsboro, playgrounds in Wardsboro. Sure, I'd love to do the asbestos removal in that room you're currently sitting in and replace the flooring. Absolutely. But it's got asbestos underneath, so that drives that cost, to do a room like that through the roof. There's the Dover boiler, and there's one of the things I really want to do is start to lay the groundwork for some lighting projects and some lighting upgrade projects to improve our efficiencies, and try to really start laying the groundwork for that and getting bulb counts, and things like that. honestly, if we don't have a ton of projects, it'll be nice to start to lay the groundwork for things like that. Doing just the other day, I did a full audit of electrical usage at Dover, and which triggered us to say, wow, we really need to do this everywhere. So it's things like that too, and doing a little bit more of that stuff, and just I'll have some time to train some guys and really pour into some guys a little bit more as far as doing some projects in-house that we can kind of do through some of the little bits of money we do have at places like WW and things like that. So we can still try to make a difference and, improve our buildings, but maybe not with a big splashy project like a playground or.
That sounds great. Yeah, I've been wanting to do the lights in this building for a long time, so I appreciate that. That'd be great.
Yeah. So what my thought was, start to get all our bulb counts, because I think Efficiency Vermont has a minimum number of fixtures or bulbs in order to get a reward through them. Otherwise, they just want you to get the reward at the register. And so if we put it together as a bigger project, we're more apt to actually save more. In the past, they've been able to help us with some of the electrical costs on top of the fixture costs. So it makes it worth it.
I appreciate it, Greg. And I think one of the reasons we're here is all the good work that you've done. So I really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Okay, so Kate, with what?
The budget that we're talking about right now.
Oh,
No,
there isn't
there
one.
isn't one. That's why.
Oh, there's nothing.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't have
He's not
anything that he
recommending
wants us to
anything
do.
Okay.
So we have no capital expenditures that we're going to ask for the voters
Okay.
to approve this year.
I'm telling you, keep it quiet.
Yeah. Mike and Kate, are you all good with that? Yep. Mike, I don't know if.
Yep. Nope, I'm all good. Thank you.
Eli, you set, sir? Meredith, you're set?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you, Greg, for that. What about vehicles, capital vehicle fund? Do we need to replace? We're going to have a little conversation about electric school buses here in a minute, but.
Yep. I mean, I know it's your least favorite conversation, Rich, but that tractor is, you can put your finger through pretty much any part of the body or the frame of it. We kind of threw some money at it a couple of years ago, have been limping it along. Dave got through it this year with it in basically 2-wheel drive all year. I will admit I questioned his desire to put a trail around the building, but actually Joe Newton was recently up and he said you are supposed to have access to at least 3 sides of your building. So he was like, given the way the parking lot is in the side, he's like, you probably should have something either along the back or along the side there. So we should be doing something there. I don't know, I think we could do it without a huge tractor, but that has been on there. You guys have had one for a long time.
Yeah, and we also had a tax rate of 50 cents a 1,000, so it was easy to buy stuff like that. So we also can buy a $5,000 Honda snowblower and have access around the whole building.
We sure can, sir.
Yeah. So, folks,
I like the sounds of that.
Yeah, what do you all think about spending $50,000 or $60,000 on a tractor, or? I'd like to
Snowblower.
Huh?
I'm not real into that.
Snowblower time.
Yeah. Mike or Kate?
I guess what's the numbers what's the money to spend on a tractor? Are we gonna burn through more than that in having somebody operate a snowblower, or are we if it's no big deal, then it's no big deal. Take the easy way at this point in the game.
Yeah, I think the only way you would even warm up on a number like that is if you were pretty regularly needing to contract it out. It is. Rich has said in the past too, you used to mow with that tractor too, and now we have a mower, and so we're not. We go through months of it not really moving much either. So it's a luxury, more of a luxury piece of equipment, unfortunately.
And we are not in a luxury era, so
we have moved right out of that.
Yep.
Fortunately, feels like the whole state did.
Yeah. Well, I won't go there.
Yeah, except for large towns.
Mike. Michael.
Yes, sir. Sorry. Yeah, it's I'd love to see a tractor. I'm a huge fan of just looking at them. But yeah, 50 horse might be a little much. Maybe a 25, slide it under the emissions with a cab. 30 grand max. But yeah, 54s. That's what dreams are made out of right there. And yeah, we can't have that.
Okay. Meredith, you have any thoughts?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so I think no vehicles for this year either, so that would be good. We can add a little money into the reserve funds, but not
That sounds good.
but not have any expenditures. So, speaking of reserve funds, Heidi, you want to give us an update on how we're looking financially? I know you gave us one last meeting. I don't think we got one
this meeting.
No.
Okay.
Well, I
I
think
apologize if there isn't one in this meeting.
no, but you do have our revenues.
I can tell you that we're looking at potentially a $600,000 fund balance at the end of this year, but I do think that it's going to come down a little bit. What I have been mentioning the last few times we've talked about fund balance is that I feel strongly that you're going to end with a $470,000 surplus based on unspent salaries, unspent benefits, and unspent tuition that we had budgeted. So I feel confident being able to say that we could move those into reserves or, use them to help buy down the tax rate of what you're going to be looking at with your budget.
So, Heidi, remember, we have an article that we always ask them for any surplus to go into the reserves because we don't know what it's going to be. And we also want to do that so the state, I don't know who the who is in that one, but somebody at the state level says, oh, wow, you had extra money. We're taking it back. So we want to make sure it goes right into reserves, to our general reserve fund. But how much do we have? Are we still pretty good on that last sheet you gave us?
So the reserve fund, I haven't got the final audit, but it's going to be close to 500,000 that we're moving into from 25. So my estimate for the reserve fund when I get the audit finalized is about 808,000, just over 808,000, 808.4 probably.
That's a general reserve.
That's the general reserve fund with the surplus from 25. So I'm talking about an additional 470 plus for 26
I
by the
understand.
time.
Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about actual dollars that we have.
Okay, so 808,000 is something to work with right now.
Okay, so it was 823 back at the end of February, so that's still pretty good.
Yeah, I found some things that had to be fixed with the audit. So we're still looking at close to 500,000.
Okay. And then we have the food program is in the hole for $14,000.
Yes, but I don't expect that it will be in the end. Your claims have been really good this year. So I think we're probably going to come close to being even on that by the time we close out the year.
Okay. And we currently then will have, and all our expenses have been paid for the roof and for the water system and stuff. We're showing 144,000 in the building fund and transportation funds showing about 122.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And when does that other bus get replaced? The one diesel that we kept?
Let me double check and see how old that is, because I think, is Greg still on here? Greg has probably a better sense of the mileage on that because he's worked closely. Greg, do
you have 4 of them. So your the really old one's the one we need to scrap, and the other one's a 2012 and one's 2013.
So they're definitely getting towards the end of their life.
Yeah, for sure. The 12 is the one that we're going to scrap anyways as part of the e-bus. So you have the 23 diesel, and then the 24, 25
electric bus.
Electric. Yeah. Plus you have a 12 and a 13.
Okay, so the 13 that we'll probably keep as a backup. So maybe in a couple of years. So we're not looking that we're going to wind up needing a bus real soon, unless that electric one goes the way of the 4 up north.
Yes, that's why that was such a good deal for you. I mean, really, what it does is it buys you, 3, 4, 5 more years before you really need to think about what you might want to do with that old 13 even.
Well, don't forget the 12 and the 13 were pretty good too, because those were Obama buses.
That's part. I wasn't around for that, but that's wonderful.
Yeah, it was. Okay, so what do you think we should put into the capital building fund? We got 144,000. What's a boiler going to be? About 40, 50?
It depends on how big it is. I haven't quite sized those, but we were looking at the backup boiler at Leland and Gray, and they gave us a estimated number of like 80, 90 grand. So it depends. The size really drives that. That's an oil, right?
Right, but we got two of them, and the building isn't as big as Leland and Gray.
Yeah. So yeah, you're probably in that range then, Rich, because you figure we ended up at like right around 40 for both of them at Wardsboro this past year. So.
Okay, so last year we put 400 into the building, but because we were doing the roof, and we put 20 into transportation. Do you think we should put probably 100 into the building in case we need two boilers there, and then probably another 20 into transportation? Because what's a diesel bus these days? About 150.
Yeah, 115 to 120. I would assume. I mean that. Those things keep going up every time you turn around. And I think when you did the 23, it was like 106, 108.
Yeah, we added money into that already in case the e-bus didn't come through.
Yeah. No, we don't. We only got 122 because we had to pay some for the e-bus out. We did the charging system and stuff. Okay. So is everybody good with 20,000 to ask for transportation reserve and 100 for the buildings? Which would bring us to around 250 for buildings and 140-ish in the transportation.
Sounds good.
Is there anybody that checks it out?
We're just moving money around. They're not in different accounts, right?
Yeah. Well, if we take 120 out of an $800,000 reserve,
right,
it leaves us 680 in reserves.
Yep.
That we're guaranteed of having.
Right.
Okay. Right. Is everybody okay with that? Kate, Mike, you good?
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. So then, Heidi.
Yes.
With this budget, we set a $685,208. What's that give us a per pupil spending?
It gives you, well, you're over the excess spending threshold. So because you're over the threshold by almost 500 per student, your per pupil spending is at $17,456.50.
Okay, but so what do we need? How much do we need to take out of reserve funds to
get the threshold down?
Yeah.
I need 193,000 to get under the threshold.
Okay, so last year we moved out 300. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is this new one.
Where's the per pupil spending?
It isn't. She has to figure it. She doesn't know it until we actually have a budget.
Right.
Right. So last year, let me just pull up last year's because I don't remember off the top of my head how much you used to buy down.
Kate, you don't have your book at your house, do you?
I don't. You know what? I was carrying it around for the longest time.
Oh, Kate does.
Oh, thank you, Kate.
Sure, Kate, have that.
Oh, wait. Do I have the online version?
All right, so we want the number for 2025 from last year's booklet. We want to know what we
asked, right?
Up to
but not more than. Because again, we'll have to wait to see what the legislators do because we may be able to do a little less because they may buy down the rate also and.
Right. Okay.
Last year, Article 10, shall the voters of the River Valley Unified School District authorize the school board to withdraw money from the reserve fund to offset the homestead tax rate, but not more than $240,000. Is that the one?
Yeah.
Okay. 240.
So if you take 240 off that, then we're only raising 6 million. 6 million.
Oh, public
$6,852,208.
Right, so if we take 240 off of that,
Oh, I see. I added to the offsetting revenues, but the offsetting revenues bring it down to 6,375. But you want it off the expenditures. I'm sorry.
yeah. Well, no, I actually, hang on a second. Let's go backwards. Okay, with offsetting revenues that we have, the Forest grant, the state transportation money, all that happy stuff.
Right. Your net education spending is what I was looking at. That number, you still have to approve expenditures of the same amount, but you're raising $6,375,159 through taxes.
Okay, and how much do we have to do to get that down?
I'm sorry. I just took for the 240,000 I added to the offsetting revenue. So I'm sorry.
No.
That's what it should be.
Okay.
So that gets you under the threshold. If you would like me to back the 240 out, I'm happy to do that. I just misunderstood.
Back 240 out first.
Okay.
Okay, and what is the per pupil spending? Is that 17,456?
Correct.
Okay, so with that, that's putting us over the threshold.
Correct.
Okay, but we still have to say, because this is what gets confusing with this, because the 6,852,208, and when you divide that in, but we also, that's not what they base the threshold on. They base the threshold on what we have to raise in taxes, right?
Correct.
And if we add 240, which is the same as last year, which is going to be a little more than a third, which is what we try to hold on to, or what we try to use, a third of our expenditures. If we put the 240 into the offsetting revenue, then what number are you at?
Before I do that, the net education spending with the current offsetting revenue is $6,615,159. So I didn't know if you wanted that number before I plug in the additional.
Sure. And what is that? What is that per pupil?
That's
still over the threshold.
That's the 17,456.
Yeah.
Because we have offsetting revenue of 237,000. So you vote on the expenditure budget, but then I plug in offsetting revenue, and then you actually raise taxes on the net education spending. So those are the numbers without using any revenue that give you 17,000 per pupil. So when I add into offsetting revenue the additional 240,000 out of reserves, you end up with a net education spending amount of $6,375,159, which is per pupil $16,347.82.
No more pennies.
Okay,
No, no, I'm good. And so that puts us under the threshold.
That puts you under the threshold.
Okay, and what does that do for tax rates compared to this year for both towns with the new CLAs?
That raises your taxes percent-wise between 15 and 16%. So it goes from a Dover tax rate of 2.169 to 2.506. And in Wardsboro, it goes from 1.466 to 1.698. It's a 34-cent increase on your tax rate in Dover and a 23-cent tax rate increase in Wardsboro.
Okay, and how much do we have to put in to get that back down?
So I was going to suggest overall using 470,000, essentially the surplus we were finding from 25 to get it down.
Yeah.
To,
hang on.
Okay.
475 was the 25 surplus?
25.
Maybe he's across the street.
The surplus from 25 is around 500,000, just under. The surplus that we're going to be seeing from 26 is going to be 470, 475.
Right. Right, but we don't know that. That's not a real number, and that's not going to be a finalized number until July 1st, and then you won't have it finalized because, I mean, right now you thought back on February 20th that we were going to be to 823, but now we're down to 808. You know, if we plan on doing that and it's not there, then we're in a lot more trouble. So that's why we only use what we know.
Understood. Yep, that makes sense. I was just thinking of replenishing the reserves essentially and using what we might.
So folks, we're going to figure we have 800,000. Okay, we took 120 out so that we don't have to raise taxes to fund the 2 reserve funds. Mm-hmm. That leaves us 680,000. Heidi is saying that if we were to take how much of that 400 and
I was going to suggest 470,000 total to get down tax rates to 10 to 11%. I do think the yield is going to come from the sounds of my meeting on Friday. I do think the yield is going to go up a little bit, which will also bring your tax rates down, but they're not giving us numbers yet because people still haven't confirmed budgets.
Right, and that's why we wait till April to do this so that we have hopefully closer numbers. So so hang on. If we were to approve and move 470, we can have if we move the 470, what does the tax rates look like?
The tax rates, and Bob has this one because I printed this one out. If we use 470,000, your tax rates are 11.36% increases. So it's a 2.4 tax rate for Dover, and Wardsboro is 11.64% increase, and it's 1.637. So a 17-cent increase for Wardsboro on your tax rate and a 25-cent increase in Dover. If you want that in terms of how much your taxes may go up, my approximate estimate would be for Dover, 246 per $100,000 house site value.
We talk tax rates, okay?
Okay, so we're talking 2.4 Dover,
$1.63.7 in Wardsboro, yes. 17-cent increase in Wardsboro, 23 cents. That's moving 470,000 plus the 120. It'll leave us about 210 in known reserves, but we'll have 250 in building and we'll have 140 in transportation, so we shouldn't ever have to borrow. And then any surplus that we have or fund balance from 26 we'll be able to go back into the general reserve, and let's just say conservatively it's at 400,000-ish.
Yep. That would put you at 618.
So we're in pretty good shape.
After we started.
Right.
Yeah, I figured a 5%, I was playing around with reserves because I always have felt like 5 to 8% reserves is helpful to keep, and 8% of your budget is 540,000. So you're certainly keeping plenty of reserves to meet those needs.
So it's hopefully we've thrown a lot of numbers around. So what I'd like to do is I think that we would want to be able to remove from the reserve fund 470,000 up to 470,000.
Yes, that's what I'm suggesting.
Is everybody good with that? Meredith?
It's currently at what?
Sorry. 800.
800. So, okay.
808, but we're taking 120 out, so it's really bumps it down to 680.
Sorry, that was a lot of numbers. So it's going from, so the Dover increase would go from what to 11.36?
$22.16, $2.169 to
2.415.
269 to 2415.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's about 23 cents.
About 25 cents.
25 cents, I'm sorry. My 5 looks like a 3.
And then Wardsboro would go from
$1.466
1.466
to 1.637, which is about 17 cents.
Yep.
There you go. Okay.
You got that?
Yeah.
Their CLA is not as bad as Dover's. Dover's CLA is way whacked.
We're getting down there too.
You're close. You're at like 90 something.
Lower, I think it dipped below 90.
Oh, did it dip below 90? Dover's, I think, is in the low 70s, upper 60s. Okay, so Kate, Mike, you guys good with that? We're gonna put an article in there to ask to move 470. It's still gonna be an increase, but not as much.
Yep.
Kate,
That sounds good.
Eli,
Yep.
Meredith, Dwight.
That sounds great.
Okay,
So what you need from Heidi is the percent higher, lower,
right.
based on that 16,347.
I had 16. Yeah, I'm sorry. 16,347.82.
What percent higher or lower is that, Heidi?
Hold on one second, because I put in the whole
Enchilada.
470, because I put in 470,000, but that's not the way you want it reflected, right? Or do you want that?
Yes.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
want the full 470. We may choose to change when we do the when we do the report in May, but that all depends, because what we're going to do is we're going to shoot for that tax rate that we're going to tell the voters. We're looking for $2.41.
So your per pupil spending is $15,758.
And what percentage of that is higher or lower than last year's? What was our last year?
Last year was 16,691. So it is a decrease of 5.59%.
Okay. Okay, cool. And then Burton rate I have is 23,050.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. I think, folks, or is there, I think we've done the operating budget. So,
Exciting.
but we're still not done with budgets because Francesca wants to talk about PreK in Wardsboro.
Well, after a lot of conversations with staff and community members and with my parent advisory committee, they really encouraged me to think about how we could increase our PreK program. There's some sadness about losing those little ones that are kind of our feeder program. And I know there is a need for PreK access in this area. I don't really know what's happening to our neighbors over that way. And I hear Mount Snow is potentially reducing some of their access to that program. I have talked to Winston Prouty, which is in Brattleboro, which is a resource for Windham County families looking for this level of support. Reached out to the state. I've gotten some good feedback from folks about subsidies that are available in addition to the universal pre-K dollars. I've gotten multiple calls from families in the surrounding areas. I actually got an email today about somebody who's moving into town with a pre-K student. So I want to continue having that option open and explore it a little deeper so that we can keep that that path open. I feel like when you eliminate a program like that, it's really, really hard to get it up and running again. Pre-K regulations are no joke. It's a lot of hoops to jump through. We just renewed our license. So I want to continue to explore that and have that as an option. The pre-K teacher and I have talked about going out and doing some recruiting, going to some play groups, making a little pamphlet for folks, and just to have that opportunity available, because I think it's important and it's clear from what I've heard from folks in the area that that's something that they really want. So, and we have all the pieces in place. We just need to fill it. So that's kind of where I'm at.
So, but
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you can go.
How many students do we have for next year as of now?
For pre-K, we had one, and then
No, for next year.
one.
Oh, I'm sorry, because that was this year too, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's
And you know, we have the ones that have said they're moving in the area or they want to bring their student in here. So right now, I would say we might have 3, but then we haven't really started recruiting. So if we could get a pre-K group of 6 or 7, I think we'd be pretty happy.
So,
because right now, in the past, we have our pre-K teacher has done pre-K grades 3, 4, and kindergarten together.
Oh.
Pre-K through
Pre-K 3-year-olds,
Oh,
4-year-olds,
sorry.
and
You're jumping all around. I'm like,
yeah.
That would
seems
be
like a real big group. 3rd and 4th graders.
Well, and that's tricky, honestly, to do those grade levels. We have some ideas about configuration.
Pre-K through kindergarten.
It's not ideal.
Okay. And how many staff do you need to keep on? It's the same staff that you would keep on for kindergarten as well?
It could be, yeah. It depends on our configurations and our numbers.
So what
we could do a small pre-K program, or we could do a combined pre-K if it's 4-year-olds in kindergarten. There's still a lot of things up in the air. I'm not saying that I have all the solutions, but I feel like I'm in the place where we want to try.
What are we? I just don't. What are we?
What was she asking for? Is that what you're wondering?
What's the difference? Like, if you don't have the pre-K program rather than you do, what are we?
I just wanted to tell you because we had said initially we were going to eliminate the pre-K program.
And what is that?
Pre-K program with one child in it just isn't really viable.
Right.
So we want to beef that up. I'm not sure
But the
we
budget
will.
that we presented includes
It would
the
include-
pre-K in it.
Yes.
But what she's saying is that she would like to try to set the Wardsboro pre-K up as a program where families can actually access the state subsidy process.
So it wouldn't just have to be families in Wardsboro.
Okay. Yes.
Oh, it wasn't like that before.
It wasn't like that before.
I didn't
It
know
was
that.
Wardsboro families, just because of the funding piece.
Gotcha.
But if we can set up a mechanism where we can get subsidies in addition to the universal pre-K dollars, then we could pull from surrounding areas. That, I guess, is the big switch. And the fact that I had said we were going to eliminate the program. I just wanted to be transparent and clear about that. As far as the configurations go, I don't know yet until we see what kind of interest we get in the program.
Is there like I get it makes sense. Is there a potential of like getting far down the road and spending money on this program and then there not being the students to run it? Or is the program is everything already there?
Everything's already here.
Okay.
The risk
That's
that
what I
you
was trying to
run-
understand.
The only risk that you run if it doesn't pan out the way she's hoping is that you'll have a really small pre-K again.
Okay. With maybe one
or maybe not one at all.
No, not one at
It's
all.
really not viable to have a pre-K program with one student because it's really about socialization.
Yeah.
And
Right. So she'll update the board as we go to
yeah,
see
it's
the
just,
progress.
I just wanted to be transparent because like I said, the last time we had talked about this, I said we were eliminating it. I know some staff members and community members expressed an interest in not doing that. So I just wanted, in transparency, just to let everybody know that we're exploring other options.
Okay.
So, and who knows what's gonna happen with the state, right? If the walls go down between districts, it might get easier to move between towns. I don't know.
Well, can't you do that anyhow with the universal?
If we get subsidies.
If you get
sure.
Well, you can for the 10 hours, but not
Yeah.
beyond the 10 hours.
Not the 10 hours. Oh, I
And
see.
I think people want more than 10 hours.
It's tough to just have your child for a
10
couple
hours.
hours.
So they get 10 hours, but then they pay.
And otherwise, they get paid
difference.
pocket for the rest of the
The
balance.
difference.
Yep.
Do you? My understanding of Mount Snow is definitely closing in June, but maybe I could be wrong.
So I don't know yet. I have some feelers out there
Yeah, that's what
to
I'm
see, and just what local places do charge.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, I mean, I'm
just
sure
curious,
there's probably some families that can afford
Yeah.
to pay for it, but
Are you aware of any families in Wardsboro that are sending their kids there that may come here, or you're not quite
I
at that
don't
stage
know.
yet? Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
No. So that's it.
I think it's
Kate, I'm sorry, Kate or Mike, any questions for Francesca?
I think it's great that we definitely explore this. I think so with the pre-K3 program, is that a half day, 5 days a week?
I think we were looking at having it more full time if possible.
Like full days, full school days?
Yeah.
That would be amazing. I think families, that would be more impactful for more people because those half day transitions are really tricky. So I think that's super impactful.
They're hard for the teacher and for the student too, because the flow isn't seamless. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think those subsidies exist and we can serve our community in this way because that if it makes it easier for young families to live in our community, I think, and we aren't doing it at a big taxpayer hit, I think that's a really big service, especially where we're losing seats in other places this year.
Yeah, and just keeping in mind, to being agile and flexible with our programming to meet the needs of our surrounding areas. So hoping it'll work out.
That's great.
Mike, you all set?
Yeah, I'm good. I was just curious. How is this any different than like tuitioning in? If they're not from the towns, like if you're grabbing them from different places, is it like a daily fee? Is that how? I'm not sure.
My understanding, the difference is that the towns wouldn't be footing the bill. The subsidies would be covering that extra piece, is my understanding.
We sought to do more research to
Yes.
confirm all that.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, because I was just curious of the whole thing we were talking about, where the SU might have to cover something if
If we accept tuition from other districts and their special needs, we are on the hook for the special needs.
Sure.
And that's one of the
that's what
reasons
I was
why
alluding
we can't accept tuition from somebody from Burlington, say.
Right. Okay. No, I was just curious. But yeah, more information would be fantastic.
I'll keep y'all in the loop.
Eli, you all set?
Yep.
Meredith?
I'm good. Thank
Okay,
you.
we've had some confusing topics tonight, Dwight. You had a chance.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're gonna take a 10-second break. Can we get that scanned off 3-4 pages so that we can put it up on the board and the board members that aren't here can see it? And while we're talking the bus, if Francesca could do that. Who's ever running the meeting? Okay, you guys discuss that real quick.
Yeah, maybe if you send it
quietly.
to Tracy.
Okay,
Tracy can
Greg,
see it.
you're back up. Greg?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to finish with you. So I had an old bus update, and we put this on last Thursday. We did our meeting to do the agenda. And it was about the old bus that the highway, Dover Highway is going to bring it down the highway garage and cut the frame and put a hole in the engine block. And I lost him too. What else do we have to do besides have?
Can I just send you some documentation, Rich? Because if you can take it as the fire department and we donate it to you, and then you send me a letter in your letterhead, and then get me those pictures, and it just says what it needs, like the picture either in the description on the PDF as it's saved, which I could probably even resave them and add. We just got to have the last 4 of the VIN, or the first 4 of the VIN, one of the 2. So we just got to do some of that with the pictures once we have that. And then if you can just say, yes, you're it, and we're donating it to you, I'll just send you a few documents. If you can just get those taken care of.
Okay.
I think we can close this baby out.
Okay, so folks on the board, what we're doing is we have to destroy the old bus, and that was part of getting the electric bus because, we're supposed to be having less pollution by getting a diesel bus off the road to have an electric bus that burns up. So we want to, so the fire department wants to use it as a drill for mass casualty because, you know, what happens with the school bus if it rolls over or has a bad accident. So we're going to work with Rescue Inc. and we're going to work with the West River Fire Departments and the Deerfield Valley Fire Departments on a drill. So we're going to donate it if nobody has a problem to the fire department, to the Westover Fire Department, so that we can use it for a drill. Does anybody have a problem with that?
As long as it meets the criteria.
Yeah, it will meet the criteria. That's why we're doing it. Okay, Kate, Mike, and I'm sorry.
Is it like a
Kate or Mike?
Sounds great. Oh, let me have church. Sounds great. Thanks.
Mike?
All good, love it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Do we? Is it? It's part of the program, but do we
Right.
get a write off for
No,
donating it?
that was they gave us
that's it. Okay.
right.
We had to scrap a bus, Meredith.
Yeah, I just didn't know.
Yeah, to get it, we had to get rid of one, and this just saves us from like having. I mean, we were probably going to end up spending a little money paying a scrapyard to come and get it, and you know, because you got to deal with the tires and any fuel and whatever in it. And this way, they take care of all that for us. So it's a win for everybody involved. The fire departments get to run a drill, which benefits our public safety. We get to be done with this, and Rich will get us some pictures, and we'll submit all that, and then Heidi and I will set up a meeting to do all the closeout paperwork, and we'll give Dwight all the credit.
Okay. And we did the same thing with the Obama buses. We had to destroy 2 buses, but what we did there was we swapped one of the buses to Todd Lolly. So our buses were newer. The buses we were getting rid of were newer than the buses we were getting. Yeah, we're newer than his buses. So he gave us one of his old buses, and we destroyed that. And the highway guys loved it. So, okay. So that's good on the bus. So the electric bus update. I know we got a letter from John Abel, the fire chief in Eastover, about where the bus is parked. But Dwight, I'm going to let you talk about this because Mike and I we're in 5th heaven.
Yeah, I can imagine.
7th heaven. Whatever.
I don't know if this
that is.
situation being right is so great, but I don't know whoever, if you haven't heard, and I know Rich, you were in a news bubble over the weekend, but the up in Williston, I think it was Thursday night, 4 electric buses caught fire in the middle of the night. Thankfully, no one was injured or hurt.
The letter.
And so basically the fire department was on the scene, and I think they got the fire out pretty quickly from what I understand, which is good news as well. But certainly was a terrible incident, and it was scary. I think the people and the community there are dealing with this, and hopefully we never have to deal with it here. But anyhow, and it's disappointing, to be honest, that this happened. I really thought that the technology had advanced to a point where something like this couldn't happen, but it did. So for us here, I'd like to recommend that we take the bus offline for a little while they do an investigation up in Williston to find out the cause. One thing we do know is that the buses up in Williston were a different make and model, and the charging infrastructure was not similar to ours. However, it was an electric bus, and I think until we find out exactly what the cause was and make sure that whatever caused that incident won't happen to us. And Greg, I don't know if you've had a chance to talk to our dealer and the people who supplied our bus, but anyhow, I'd like to get assurances from them as well that this is not something that could happen to us as well, that what happened there. And also, we just got a letter today from the fire chief in Dover who made a very good recommendation.
Eastover,
to move our charging station a little further away from the building, which is something we wanted to do originally, but to save costs, we decided not to. So that may be something for you to do this summer, Greg, is to see if we can get the charging station a little further away from the building to reduce risk. That's just a recommendation. I think, certainly we want to find out more about if you can get on that as well, Greg, to maybe talk to the people up in Williston and see who's involved with the investigation, whether it's Green Mountain Power, whether it's a bus company, and also to talk to our distributor as well, to find out if there's any similarities to what happened to them with our bus.
Yeah, I emailed with Ben Prevost, who's our one of our risk managers up at Visbit, and those are Lion buses. So they weren't. And the CIX article said at this point it didn't appear that it was the batteries that were the culprit. So I mean,
Yeah, we don't take.
We're not quite sure what that is, but yeah, I'll reach out to Anderson Motors and just see if they're having any issues. I mean, so far so good in that the buses, even in Mass last year that went down, were not Bluebirds, and these were not Bluebirds. So
Yep.
So far that has, I mean, in that way, it's a good thing. It's never a good thing when when this is happening, and especially the way ours is set up. Yeah, the what drove our charger placement was just cost really, and trying to stay as cheap as we could as far as everything went, not having to cut up the tar and do that. Joe Malkowski from King's Electric, he said, the thing with those chargers is they can't absorb like a drop in voltage, so you have to run really hot heavy gauge wire in order to get it there so that it doesn't have a drop. He was like, because initially I had asked him about running it down where the other lot was there, and he was like, you would spend 20 grand just in wire getting down there, because you'd have to run such a large gauge wire so that you didn't have any volt droppage, or amp droppage. Might be a little out of my range, but it made sense. And so, but I will work with those guys to see what it would take to bring it at least to the other side there. So then the bus would be over, we'd be, over more closer to the playground side there. If we just went underground there and chiseled out a little bit of asphalt and.
Yeah, and I'll contact Green Mountain Power, because they're the ones who gave us a grant for insulation. So maybe they'll be willing to give us an additional grant to move the location or something like that.
Yeah.
So I was hoping Dwight was going to read this.
Oh,
so I
sorry.
didn't have to, but he obviously didn't. So,
well, I always want to give the report.
To whom it may concern, in the few days since the bus fire in Williston, I've given some thought to the chosen location for parking and charging the electric bus at the Dover School. Although the fire in Williston was not deemed to be an issue directly related to the batteries, one can have little doubt that there was an electrical malfunction causing a fire that, while damaging to their equipment, could not have been catastrophic in close proximity. Could have been catastrophic in close proximity to buildings or other facilities. While not being aware of all the circumstances, most recent event is nonetheless quite clear that a fire in one of the vehicles spreads to the other buses. One can clearly imagine similar adverse effects that might follow the chosen parking and charging point for the electric bus at the Dover School. Given some of the recent concerns, I can see a more prudent course that would move the charging location to not create a hazard to the school building. In support of this suggestion, I would offer not just the Williston incident, but also the sidelining of the GMT buses due to the charging concerns, the New Haven bus fire, and recalls by numerous manufacturers. I understand that in most cases the issues have not been directly related to the batteries or motors. Nevertheless, the supporting systems have failure modes that would recommend the same prudence in an overnight and unattended parking as the accorded internal combustion powered buses. Issues that arise from a fire protection standpoint are multifold. It is agreed that fires in EVs are best addressed by allowing the vehicle to burn, as suppression tactics are marginally effective. If initiated, a significant long-term water supply is needed, not readily available at the top of Dover Hill Road. In all cases, the available resources should be directed to exposures, leaving the initial fire unchecked. Proximity to exposures creates an unwanted and unwarranted complications, as well as attendant environmental hazards due to necessary suppression tactics. To this end, I would recommend relocating the charging station location away from such a valuable asset as the school building as soon as possible. Building soon as possible. Greg, are we aware of any recalls from our bus company?
We have a recall on a battery port thing of them coming loose with like bumping, and so I just got that paperwork the other day. So we'll be sending it out to get those taken care of. Just you have to put these special screws on that have a torque thing on them that says they couldn't come loose.
Okay,
that's all we've had.
So you'll have an update for us in 2 weeks.
Yes, sir.
Are we currently using that? I thought it was parked for a while because
it's been used. Yeah, as soon as we got over 25 degrees, we've been using it. It was in Newbrook this afternoon. I saw it on my way home.
Okay, should we consider, till we get this figured out, not using it?
We absolutely can. I mean, we're not. It's not going to put us in a really tough spot. And it does buy us some time. Would you like me to go ahead and get a hold of Kings Electric to get a number ASAP on
Let's
moving that charger at least to the other side of the road there?
Well, Dwight and I have got to talk quite a bit, as have you. Let's ask Mike and Kate and Eli and Levi and Meredith. Meredith is going to the computer. You have any input on whether we should not use a bus so we don't charge, so it's not parked next to the school building?
Well, that's all. I'm also recommending till we get the final report from what took place up in. Yeah. Okay.
Support that.
Okay, Eli.
Yeah, I'm good.
Are we okay to run? The other bus fine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike and Kate, it's just polluting more. Till it burns. Mike and Kate, you guys good with that?
Yes, sir. Believe it or not, I really don't have a problem running it right now. There were different buses, different chargers. Finally got good weather. I'm more concerned about the recall on it.
What's the recall?
It just said little battery torque bolts. Battery bolts coming loose, arcing. That seems more of a fire hazard than sitting there idle. But I also would like to say that maybe we should have spent the money to get it where the bus is parked, even running 4-inch conduit, pulling lines just to bring it 20 feet further. If that goes up, there goes our $600,000 rubber roof, 20 grand in cable to get it where the bus is actually parked. Probably seems more worthwhile investment than $9 grand to move it 20 feet.
Yeah, but the other problem too, Mike, is that if it's by where the other bus is parked, then you've got an exposure with those buses too. You almost want to segregate it, park it away from everything in the world. Like right next to a big pond, we can push it in if it catches on fire.
Right. Yeah. No.
Or right next to a stormwater retention pond.
That's what I was just gonna say. While the machines are there doing them ditches, the perfect time to put in the conduits.
No.
Those dry ponds will help.
I have seen on YouTube.
Change the budget of the cost of fuel right now. I'm worried about that, but okay.
I feel like you should park it next to a tractor, Rich. I feel like there's a story there. I think doing whatever is safest for the building and the students, I think makes perfect sense. And I think everybody just has been well informed, and just staying up to date on what's going on and making sure that we're putting safety first is important.
Okay.
So we're gonna
let Greg, as our maintenance transportation guy, work with Bob, our superintendent, and Tracy, our building administrator, and our bus drivers, and Dwight as the electric bus guru, to come up with a safe plan, and we'll get an update in 2 weeks.
Are they gonna? Do they say that there's a report? They'll report back to everyone about what happened.
I'm sure it'll be public, but Greg will work.
But it also
Okay.
they have months to do the reports.
Right. So how long will this?
It could be a while, so we'll see, and we can continue.
We're going to have a discussion
Okay.
in 2 weeks,
Yeah.
so it's going to be at least 2 weeks.
Right, minimum.
Yeah, we're gonna park it until we at least get the recall done.
Okay, thank you, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
Okay, Alan Block, I noticed you had your hand up, but we don't take comments during the meeting. You get, and I know this is something. So if you have any comments, you can email it to Bob, and then we'll get it for the next meeting.
Okay. Thanks, Rich.
Thank you, buddy. Sorry about that. So moving right along, our next topic of discussion is new business articles for the annual meeting, discussion and possible action. So
She's trying to get that scanned so we can project it up on the screen.
okay, so here, why don't you take that, pass that to Eli,
You have more than one?
give that to Meredith, and you and I will share this one.
Okay.
So, hey, Kate and Mike. Kate, if you've got your book from last year, it's pretty similar if you want to just look at that. Mike, we're going to get it up on the screen for you as soon as we can. So, I believe our meeting's April 27, 2026 at 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. is you're voting for your, Australian ballot.
Oh, yep.
Yep.
You're right. Yep.
Oh,
Sorry.
I'm sorry, go to the first page, Eli.
Okay.
Keep going.
I had it turned over to a page where I was filling things in. Oh, perfect. And then, Article 13 to be voted by Australian ballot. We have to get it, it's basically the same thing as last year, and I wrote it wrong on Monday in April 26th. April 2026 at the Wardsboro Town Hall in 189 Taproot Road, Dover Town Hall. And our live meeting is April 28th, 2026 at the Dover Town Hall, 189 Taproot Road. So Article 1, to elect a moderator to serve for the fiscal year July 1, 26 to June 30, 2027. I changed this a little bit. I went to set a stipend of $200 per year for the moderator. It was a little confusing for our business manager and for some other things. So I just thought it would make our lives a lot easier. We're just going to say it's $200 for the year. They usually do one meeting. If they want to do the pre-meeting, they can. But they're not going to get paid for that. It's just kind of a warm up and to make sure everything's good. Everybody okay with Article 1?
Yeah.
Okay, Article 2, to elect a clerk to serve for fiscal year, July 1, and to set a stipend. And I forget, but Andy sent us an email saying,
He wants it cut in half.
was it cut in half?
I believe so.
So it's $1,200 versus the $2,400.
Yeah.
Okay. I will confirm that, but do you have it?
I do.
Cool.
That's a lot of this technology stuff works out.
Do you have any assistants in behalf?
Pardon?
The assistant's the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I believe that's right, Meredith. If you find that, and if we find it's different. Okay, so then Article 3, to elect a treasurer, same fiscal year, and to set their stipend at $2,400. Everybody okay with that? Can you put this
He
up?
wants to decrease.
I'm working on it.
Pardon?
Decrease to 1,200,
Right, okay.
and then
Eli's got a good memory. He's the youngest of us, I think.
and leave 400 for the assistant.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Meredith. And shall the voters of the River Valley School District set the annual stipend for the school directors at $2,500 and for the chair at $3,000. And that's the same as it's been for several years. Can we go down a little? So we're on Article 5. Mike, can you see that, and Kate?
I can.
Okay. So Article 5, so the voters of the River Valley Unified School District approve mileage reimbursement at the federal reimbursement rate in the month in which mileage occurred. Again, that's been an article both Dover and Wardsboro have had ad nauseum forever and ever. If we go to the next page, page 2, Paul Harvey, page 2. Shall the voters of the River Valley Unified School District approve the school board to move any surplus from the 25-26 budget into the general reserve fund to be reserved for future use as approved by the voters? And that's a yes or no. And that's, again, another one that's been around forever. Shall the voters of the River Valley Unified School District set the annual tuition rate to approved independent schools at $23,050, which is the Burton Sending School tuition for the 26-27 school year? That's set by Burton. And, it's something we as a board had agreed to, that if they got a petition and it passed the first year, we would just put it on and wouldn't make them repetition it. We do have to vote on that annually. We can't just vote it forever. So that's why this is on every year. People think we're trying to do something behind their backs or something strange, but that's what's required by statute. Everybody good with that? Cool. Article 8. So the voters of the River Valley Unified School District approve the school board to expend $6,852,208, which is the amount school board is determined to be necessary from the ensuing fiscal year. Heidi, we got to change this back. The River Valley School District estimates that this proposed budget, if approved, will result in per pupil spending of, we have to put that 17,456 in there.
Okay.
And I need to know which is higher or lower, and we need to take the budget from last year and the approved budget from last year and the total pupils, and those are the two numbers we compare.
Yeah. And so the per pupil cost, based on, let's see, 16,691.05 is an increase of 4.59%. So with that number. So the 17,456 and 50 cents is 4.59% increase over the 16,691.05 for last year.
Okay. Is everybody okay with that? Understand that?
Yep.
Yeah, and that was new last year that we put that second paragraph in Article 8. It hadn't been in the year before.
Well, actually, it was, we had to do it a long time ago.
A long time ago, yeah.
And they gave us a reprieve for a few years, and then they reinstituted again. This actually came about before Shumlin, the governor before Shumlin. This was a way to, pardon? Douglas, yeah. I think it was to kind of like have people see. I don't know why they did it.
So is that amount that's before the buy down?
That's before everything. That's before income other than taxes.
Okay.
This is taking your total amount divided by the number of students. The number of students.
Okay.
The weighted average.
Yeah.
Okay, Article 9. Shall the voters of the River Valley School District fund its capital reserve in the amount of $100,000 for the buildings and $20,000 for transportation, with those funds coming from the general reserve fund. So that's just a transfer, and that keeps us from having to increase how much we tax to raise those funds. Everybody okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Article 10, shall the voters of the River Valley School District authorize the school board to withdraw money from the reserve fund to offset the homestead tax rate, but not more than $470,000. And we say not more than because, again, we're going to tell people what the proposed tax rate's going to be with this buy down. And then if the government, if Montpelier, the legislators and the governor buy it down, we don't need to take as much out of our reserves. Article 11, shall the voters of the River Valley Unified School District authorize school board to offering the IB
Yeah, that sentence.
focus for the Dover building. Yeah, that needs to be. So I know why I did this, because I wasn't sure how we wanted to word this article. And we've had discussions. We had the committee that Meredith and Kate's kind of worked with the staff. Do we want to propose to do away with the IB program or to keep the IB program? And I think we need to offer to the voters is to let them decide. So I was trying to make it a neutral article, not that we're recommending that we do it or that we not do it.
To continue offering?
Yeah.
I think
To return to offering?
I worry that we haven't really talked to them about it. Correct?
Talk to who?
The voters.
We have talked to them as much as we can talk to them.
Right.
Yeah.
We asked, we had a committee, we asked
Yeah.
for the survey. Now it gets to get voted on. We
No,
told
I
the
agree.
staff.
I just worry that the amount of people that we've reached about it versus the amount of people that are going to be at this meeting.
Probably about the same. We don't get 100 people at a meeting.
We don't.
No. I think last year we had 50 something.
I'm kind of on line with Meredith's thinking. Did we put it in the Australian ballot or a different way to vote on it rather than by voice vote?
Well, if you do it on Australian ballot, it's a yes or no, and there's no discussion, and people aren't going to really know what they're. And I think you'll see a lot of abstentions or a lot of no votes because they're not sure, or they're just. I think it's something we want to have a discussion.
I agree.
Okay.
I
just don't know how to.
I
word
worry
it.
that it's going to be people saying that they don't have enough information to make the decision. That's my.
I just saw the speaker with the line through it. No, on the screen, it just looked like. Are we muted? Kate, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Here's my other question.
Kate, what do you think, Kate?
What's that?
Oh, like that? It's your.
That's.
Tracy's.
Oh, Tracy's sharing the screen, so Tracy has hers muted because that makes sense.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. So no worries. That's all it is.
I was just saying that.
Hang on, Kate. Let Meredith have the floor.
Oh no, yeah. I asked Kate actually. Did you hear what I said? I just worry that people are going to be thinking that they don't have the information to make the decision, and it's going to cause.
Well, we have 2 informational meetings to give them the information.
Right. No, I know. I'm not saying that we haven't done things on our side. I just don't know in between that and here.
So
Oh, go ahead, Kate.
I think that's a really good point. Like, we don't know how people are going to feel because, like, we can say things and everybody is going to hear something different. So we have to be super intentional with how we write things and how we say things. I think we should write an article. I think I like the idea of keeping it very neutral. And then hearing from the community on what feels important to them. And they can, like, they have a multitude of choices. They can come to the meeting and say, yes, we want to keep it going. Or they could come to the meeting and say, we would like to let that go. But, like, if they, yeah, and, like, then we would, the staff would then be tasked with doing whichever directive. Is that accurate? Like,
Yes.
yeah. So I think we just keep it super neutral because, you know, we're acting on behalf of our voting constituents. And I think the informational meetings are going to be super important. I think the Dover community should, you know, come to those information meetings. If they have questions about it, they should ask the questions. I think they should talk to each other and think about, you know, we've talked about making hard cuts in these times, and, like, is that program impactful to the students? Does it add a educational value to their students? Like, you know, does it? Yeah, I think we should put it on there and do it in neutral language.
So what language would you like, how would you like to see it worded, Kate?
How would I like to see it worded? Shall the voters of the River Valley's Unified School District, well, maybe not shall.
Well, no, it has to be a shall because
Okay.
it has to be able to be a yes or no vote.
Okay, that makes sense. Oh, then it's really tricky to do a yes or no.
So the voters of the River Valley Unified School District continue direct the school board
My question
to continue, hang on, let me just continue offering IB focus in the Dover building.
IB curriculum.
And
What's IB focus?
the IB program. Our focus in the Dover building was IB. Our focus in the Wardsboro building was STEAM. That was decided many years ago by the voters back when we first started the district.
No, I was just asking about the word focus.
Well, I'm using focus because that's what we talked to the voters about years ago. So, you know, when we approved. Yeah.
So does this say it's binding? In other words, like, they're not just, this is it, they vote, like, the board doesn't have any discretion. This is a binding.
We're asking the voters, yes, do they want us to offer it or not offer it?
Okay.
So by making it, we do have it now. So direct the school board to continue offering.
I think it's
remove the pause
right now.
It's in hiatus for a year.
Right. So if
and that can come up in discussion.
Right. Okay.
So I mean, I don't want to make the question so confusing.
Mm-hmm.
So the voters of the River Valley Unit to authorize the IB program because the staff had recommended that they don't want it. There's some parents that want it. We're not sure what we should do. So we're just, I mean, I could have a 2-page article.
Got it.
And so you want it, the question has to be, you know, something that can be voted on, but you can have all sorts of discussion, and, you know, the board can stand up and give its thoughts. Any voters can give their thoughts, and then we have a vote and we move on.
Shall the voters of River Valley Unified School District direct the school board to continue offering the IB program at the
How about I
building?
do IB program focus in the Dover building? How's that? Well, I mean, we talk about the STEAM focus in this building.
I'm just wondering if the change, the question is really about, not about, is it about continuing it or is it about stopping it?
It's about
continuing it.
or
Well, originally when you passed this, your question was about starting it.
Well, we don't need to be authorized to continue it. It's already in place.
That's what I'm saying. So really, it's about stopping it.
Unpausing it.
That's why I'm not saying they're authorizing, they're directing us to continue it.
So last year we did ask the voters, shall the voters of the River Valleys Unified School District authorize the school board to stop funding the IB focus for the Dover building? We did have that on the thing, and I think we removed that question at the beginning of the meeting.
We asked at that article, at that time of that article, we asked the voters to pass over it because we weren't prepared to have a discussion, because it was kind of late in the process and we didn't even have a chance as a board to discuss it. So we felt that as a board before the meeting, that it would not be appropriate for us to discuss it at the meeting because we didn't have any answers.
But I think the way it's phrased though last year, I think is the right way because you don't need an authorization to continue doing what you're doing.
You need authorization.
Well, but it's not an authorization. It's a vote of confidence that they want to continue it.
I see.
I was trying to phrase it in not a negative way, a positive way. But again, you guys tell me.
I don't think there is a neutral way to address it. It's either do we continue it or do we stop it? I mean, yeah, because you can't, it's got to be a yes or no.
I think it's continue now because we are on a pause right now. So we want to know if we should start it up again.
Okay. So you like it okay that way?
I do.
Okay. Hold that thought.
Can you say continue or stop? No, because that's not a yes or no.
Yeah.
It's stopped right now. It's not running right now.
And I wouldn't say it's stopped, it's paused.
Right.
Right.
So
unpause.
Well,
resume would be the word.
Resume's a good word.
But we've never done away with it. We never made it go away. We just paused it.
But there's nothing going right now. You know what you're saying, but I'm saying as far as the parents are experiencing it, they're not experiencing any of the IB program right now. So they don't. So
I think to start it though says like we're starting a new program.
That's why I think continuing it is accurate.
I like resume. I mean, that's what you do. You pause and you resume it.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna put it in that way, I actually think it should be. It'd be negative, but that should be. It should be.
I was trying to do.
I know you're trying to do.
Yeah,
I know. I get it.
Heidi got her hand up.
Yeah, no, I didn't know if that was from before or part of this conversation.
No, Heidi, is it about this?
Nope. Keep going.
Hold your thought. Kate and Mike, why don't you guys weigh in, please?
To be honest, I don't have a horse in the race. I can go either way.
You have a bus in the race?
Broken down one, yeah, and one about to get cut up.
Okay, go ahead, Kate.
I like framing it in a more positive arena, and then I love your idea of keeping it super clear, Rich. I think that's a super important element of it. Just having it be very concise and very clear.
Okay. So are you good with Oh, I'm sorry. You go ahead.
If you're resuming the program, if you're voting to resume it, you're not. But that doesn't mean, right? You're not keeping it going. Like if they say no, don't resume it. Does that mean we stay paused? Right. So that's not any good either. So so for me, it really needs to be: do we need to? I know it's negative, but we need to authorize to discontinue the IB program. That is more clear, it's more concise, and it's a yes or no. That's just my opinion.
Okay, I like that. Meredith, are you okay with that? Or because you and I were on the opposite side, which is okay because it's Dwight.
I would like it to be more positive. I would like it to be continue.
Okay.
I vote for continue.
I think end is more clear.
End is to stop. Okay.
So we vote to end it.
Kate, that kind of falls under what you said.
I'm going to stick with concise and clear. And
to end it is pretty concise and clear, isn't it?
Concise and clear. And then we will honor whatever the voters say, however they show up and state their opinions.
Okay. Mike, you could be like the tiebreaker here.
That's your job.
Well,
if he said yes, then
yeah, end is very, very clear. There's no mistake in that. So that would be, but you're definitely you're definitely swaying a vote. If you roll in there not knowing anything and you hear end, you're like that's. I can totally see why people want it uplifting and positive, but end is clear. But you could potentially sway a vote.
I could also see that swaying it the other way, though.
Yeah. No, and I don't disagree, and I struggled with this.
Yep. Let's go with Bob. Make him make the decision. I like this.
Do we have any English teachers on the call?
That's right. Yeah, right.
Go ahead, Bob.
I plugged into AI to see what they said about neutral, and it said the phrasing was continue. So I don't know. I didn't think that was neutral. I don't think it's clear either. So I got nothing. AI can't help me. It helped me with electric bus recalls. I found some good stuff there, but that's about it.
That sounds scary.
Okay, so how about we do this, folks? So the voters of the River Valley Unified School District direct the school board to continue offering the IB focus in the Dover building, or to discontinue or to cease offering. So continue offering or cease. How about if we vote on that? We just switch that word. Either it's going to be
the other.
Right. That's pretty concise.
Yeah, that's fine wording, but then it's not a yes or no vote.
No.
It's one or the other.
I'm saying it's one or the other.
Either continue.
So the voters of the River Valley Unified School District direct the school board to continue or to cease offering.
So they would just vote continue.
No. It's we're going to put either continue offering, or our article's going to say to cease.
Oh yeah,
offering.
it's got to be one of those.
Right. No, I'm saying we're going to vote.
Okay.
As a board.
Yeah, I gotcha.
I know Levi, it's late, but but talk to Eli. Okay.
Let me go first.
You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll change my mind. I like the way you said it. To continue is fine.
Okay, to continue. Meredith.
Continue.
Eli.
I'm fine with continue.
Kate.
Continue can be concise. We're good.
Yeah. Mike.
Seems to be the majority. Let's roll.
Offering the IB focus in the Dover building. IB program focus in the Dover building.
Good.
Okay.
See how it goes.
Hey, Article 12 is the easiest article in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Not as easy as Article 14.
Yeah.
Any other business that may legally be addressed in open discussion for informational purposes. Article 13 is the Australian ballot. Australian.
Yeah.
Because you know why? Because in Australia, they were so spread out, they all couldn't vote on the same day.
That's right.
They were in different days.
Yeah.
And then the two school directors, one for Wardsboro.
That's something.
No, it's Kate.
Kate.
And in Dover, Mike, are you running in Dover?
Won't be continuing.
I am not.
Okay. Well, we're going to miss you.
Will you?
Well, I will, because I won't have a partner on the electric bus issue.
I'll join in if you need me.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it. What's that?
I think there are people running.
Okay. So anyways, and then Article 14 to adjourn the meeting.
I like that one.
Yep. Vote to adjourn needs a motion and a second, but it's not debatable or discussable. It's a vote only.
Meeting vote? Oh, no, that's
Not us.
Oh.
Okay, so we still got a long ways to go.
Yeah.
So would we make a motion to approve the morning?
Hold on.
Oh.
Before you do that, that's why my hand is up.
Okay.
Can we go back to Article 8 for a moment?
No, but go ahead.
Okay.
I realized that last year's tax rate that I was looking at was reduced by reserve funds. So I want to change the percentage to 2.26
What I was wondering.
increase.
Okay.
Good. That's great.
Thank you.
Good.
And
Sorry
everything
about that.
else is good, right?
What's that?
Everything else is good.
Everything else was good. I just wanted to get that correction in before you voted.
0.26.
Oh, yeah. It's just numbered.
2.26.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, it was 4.
Okay, so I have a clean copy of, and remember I do this so it's intentional. I do the signature page. So if we can get a motion to adopt this agenda as discussed, I will get it to Andy tomorrow. It's followed the same thing as last year. There might be some grammatical errors and changes, but there won't be any. It'll be the same. Heidi, you got something else, Rich?
No, sorry. Forgot to lower the hand. Sorry.
I was hoping maybe we'd vote on this.
Sure.
So we can so moved by Eli.
Okay,
And do I have a second?
sure.
Okay, Meredith seconds it.
Need a motion to approve the warning for the annual meeting?
Yep, as discussed and presented. Okay, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Right.
Oh, it's a unanimous decision in the affirmative. It is.
Impressive. That's a nice pen. Is that?
Yeah, I like that pen a lot. Okay, so we're on to superintendent's update. Hey, and Bob, you can be very brief.
I will be.
Oh wait, I want to do one other thing. Let's do the financials first, so that we can let Heidi leave.
There you go.
Can somebody make a motion to approve pay order 51 in the amount of $192,243.78?
So moved.
Second.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Meredith. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Let's
I
see
have
now.
that.
Oh, you have it? Okay. It appears to be a unanimous decision in the affirmative. It is. So we are good. Okay, thank you, Heidi.
Thank you.
Good job. We really appreciate you.
Heidi.
Thank you.
Go.
Okay, Bob, go ahead. Can I have my pen back?
Yeah, I'm gonna smell that.
Yeah, so you have my cabinet report. It did come out late and it missed your first meeting of the month because we were waiting on town meeting day. We are pleased to announce that it was obviously, you guys saw the news about the percentage of budgets that passed. Wyndham, Stratton, and Marlboro part of that. A successful percentage. But Marlboro's obviously came with a bit of a downer in that they did vote pretty one-sided, really, like 300 to 50 or something like that, to close their school at the end of the year. So that has happened. I think, as you guys were talking about earlier about Wardsboro and the struggles of declining enrollment, I think the true benefit of being in a district was shown by the fact that you're still operating that. And places like Wyndham and Marlboro struggle with continuing to operate schools with declining enrollment because of they aren't part of a larger entity. So that's something that's happening. And I did mention here to thank Dan MacArthur. Board chairs do a lot of behind the scenes work. It isn't usually just Rich yelling at me. There's other things they do. But just board chairs in general yell at me, right?
Never.
But I just wanted to say a public thank you to Dan MacArthur, who is really, as you know, has been tied to the school for a long time. Is one of the first students to enter the building in the 50s and is now the chair of the board as it closes.
He has grandchildren.
His grandkids are there, and his kids went through there. He went through there. And he's been on the board for decades, right? I mean, so anyways, that was really my shout out to Marlboro and to Dan for the work that they're doing. And at the S2 level, we are continuing to plow ahead. I think I mentioned this last time that we had our director of student services offer her resignation mid-year. Her last day is this Friday. We have already interviewed a candidate. We are in the process of negotiating with that candidate, and hopefully have them on board within a month-ish. And have that gap filled in between. So we're feeling pretty good about that. So in fact, Francisco's part of that hiring committee. So so that's pretty much where I'm at as far as the SU. And I did share with Rich. He has a copy of the West River annual report for him to take a peek at. It's we're hoping that the layout in general and the pictures and the basic feel of it would be similar to what River Valley's would be. So we want him to kind of get a chance to poke through and see what his thoughts were. But we are in the process of starting to put that together in central office as well. And now that we have a budget, we can move forward with that and get that to the printer. So that is all I have.
Okay, does anybody have any? We're gonna play Stump the Superintendent in preparation for Stump the Senator. Anybody got anything to stump the superintendent with? Ask him a really difficult question.
Earlier on, you did make mention that there was some ideas to reduce the SU.
Yeah. So one of the things, there's two things that we've been doing since the adoption of that budget is we've been looking after we did our reorganization last summer of how we were structured internally. We have been really looking at efficiencies within the special ed and academic support side, and we are moving forward with some reductions there for next year that are not in the budget, or they're in the budget. We're going to reduce them anyways to show those efficiencies. We also are having an audit done of our central office, working through the collaborative, which will be our BOCES on July 1. They are going to do an audit. Heidi and I are meeting with a representative from their group next week, I think, to talk about that cost of what that'll do. But it will give us an idea, particularly with Marlboro closing, to see whether our central office is right-sized to the number of districts we serve and the number of employees we serve.
Do you have a cost on that yet?
We do not. Nope. So, but yeah, so we're basically looking under all the rocks, all the behind the carpet in the corner, all the places that we're looking to see if we can continue to find efficiencies, because we recognize that assessment was a pretty significant increase.
Yeah.
Again, not because our expenditure budget was up, but just because of the loss of revenue. But we recognize that we have to do what we can. So.
But I do want to comment on that real quick too, and it's just like what I compliment both our people, our building administrators, Francesca and Tracy, is that just because it's in the budget doesn't mean that they spend it, and that's proof in the fact that we had $700,000 we moved total in the SU budget to be able to buy down the rate, and we're looking at a few $100,000 in the River Valley too. Because in days past, before I was on the board in Dover, I mean they made sure that they spent all the money, because their theory at that time was we can't ask for more if we don't spend what we got, and we just things are so moving. The number of students, the tuition, who we're going to have for staffing. It's really hard to make a budget that comes out right on the dollar. It's really easy if we were a fully tuitioning group, because we could just kind of guess the students, add a little bit, and nothing changes,
Right.
Except if students move in and out. And when you run a school, I am so glad we don't have to worry about a high school, because those numbers get even wilder, in movement. So Tracy, I can't do it, but pat yourself on the back. Bob, you get Francesca, and Francesca, you get Bob, and you guys do a good job, and we do appreciate it. And Heidi, who's not here, and Greg, we appreciate y'all. Go ahead.
I was just curious with Marlboro, do they remain like a district, like Stratton does?
Yep, they'll just be a non-operating.
They'll be a non-operating.
Which all these maps don't allow for non-operating districts.
Well, not all of them. Only one does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they don't want that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Are you set?
Yeah.
Are you set, Meredith?
Mm-hmm.
I got you, Eli. Who's they? And that's a really good point. Kate and or Mike, you got anything for Bob?
I'm good, thank you.
Did he like it? Did
Oh, I'm doing
you get that?
I was like,
Can you pass
I'll
that?
do
to
it.
Mike?
Though.
Okay, thank you, Bob. Away team, knock it out of the park there, Trace E.
So, just a few things. Our March reading challenge is underway, and I told you last time that there would be something fun, but I wanted to tell the kiddos first. So, they are reading minutes to earn feet of duct tape to tape me to a wall. So, I'm super excited about that. Although we're reading lots of minutes, so that's what I was really hoping for. We had a little kerfuffle with our spelling bee, and it was a good opportunity for us to tell students that grown-ups make mistakes too, and we missed a deadline, so we couldn't send anybody to the competition in Montpelier this year, but we have taken some steps to fix our mistake for next year. But we will be having a Dover School Spell Down next Thursday with some fun prizes and all official Spell Down glamour and fun. So I'm looking forward to that. Girls on the Run started today. A whole bunch of girls getting healthy and running for a good cause. The staff and I are starting our reflections on our CIP, our continuous improvement plan. So we have some work scheduled for that tomorrow in our staff meeting. And we got invited by Dana Gordon Macy, the principal at Marlboro, to join her in early April for a meet and greet so that families could get the feel for Dover because there were a few families that were interested in coming over our way. And that is it.
Okay, any questions for Tracy? Everybody good?
That's it.
Okay, TV Land good? Cool. Go ahead, Francesca.
Well.
Oh wait, I got one thing. Can the board add minutes to get more tape for the kids? Tape it to the wall.
Right.
I read 15,000 pages a day.
Okay, she reads 15,000 pages a day. What does that equate to? How many rolls? I'll pay for it.
The whole staff.
That's cool, Tracy. We want pictures. Okay, I'm sorry, Francesca.
No, don't, sorry. Similar with Tracy, we are working on our March reading challenge as well. I got the easy way out because we're just having an ice cream party at the end of ours. But if you take a look as you go out, we have our worm going along the wall that kids are extending and hopefully going to go all the way around. We also are working on our CIP. My parent advocacy group will be looking at it this week. We finished up NAEP testing with the fourth graders and we're getting ready for VT caps next few weeks. Fun stuff. We had a fossil program in here today for our pre-K through 2 to get them all steamed up. Looking at some
That was good.
Allosaurus, claws and a T-Rex tooth, which is like this big.
Wow.
They were really geared up for that. I think I told you last time we're going to Merck Forest end of the month to do some maple syruping and get ready for parent-teacher conferences. Busy.
Good.
And I think cross-country skiing's over. We're a little
Eli?
bummed.
Parent teachers on Thursday.
Yep.
Meredith?
That's it. I don't have anything.
Oh, no, yeah, no, yeah. Dwight?
She does 2 or 3 things at once, by the way.
I noticed that.
Which I'm watching. I'm all good. Thank you.
Kate or Mike? No, Kate's shaking her head. Mike, you good?
All good.
Okay. Yes.
No, just trying to remember a word.
Okay. Hey, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Did you bring the tooth with you?
Yeah, where's the tooth?
No, they took it with them.
Oh, man. You're supposed to hide
You
it.
should have hid it.
It was huge.
Okay, principals updates. We're done with new business. Consent agenda 3/2/26. Is there anybody that has any issues with the minutes on 3/2/26? Hearing none by unanimous non-consent, because nobody's objecting, we'll approve the minutes of the 3/2/26 meeting. Correspondence update on parent concern from previous meeting. Bob, I don't think it's really correspondence, but there was an issue that a parent had brought to us a couple meetings ago, and you were going to talk to that person. And there's nothing on the agenda about it, so we're all set for now.
Yes, I would say I'm moving forward in addressing the concern.
Okay, and if that concern isn't addressed, then the parent can come to the board.
Yep.
Okay, we had a couple letters, but I think we covered them under all these different articles up top, so I'm not aware of anything else. Does anybody else have any letters? Okay, I want to hold the executive session for 1 minute. April 6th, 2026. I'd like to start at 5:30 if we could, just because if we're going to have the senator there, and we've been having some pretty long meetings, and we can
45?
5:30.
5:30.
Right, and I'd like to do the first half hour, plus that gives us a little bit of time if a lot of people have questions for the senator. Is everybody okay with that?
Yep. So good.
And Bob, if you want to come late, that's fine, because unless you want to question the
I'll do it
senator,
online.
he's your senator too.
He is. I'm gonna
Yeah.
do it online. He pulled me over for speeding once.
Did he?
Oh, he used to be a cop.
He used to be a trooper.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say about
Did
that.
you get a ticket?
I don't know if you got your vote.
Okay, and then April 20th, we're in Wardsboro for the informational meeting. But the next two meetings,
Is that here or at the town hall?
we usually do it here. We go through it. A lot of times there aren't that anybody here. We'll go through the articles. Kate and Meredith, can you guys have some kind of presentation together on the article about the IB? Because you guys run that committee. We have the report. Bob, I don't know if I forgot the lady's name from your office. Renee. If she could be there too, in case, and then Tracy can present as from the administrative side.
This is for the meeting on the 20th.
No, this is for both meetings. We
You want to do it for Dover, for the 6th
at the
and
April
for-
6th
okay.
and April 20th, and then we'll have to do it on the 28th as well.
So the 20th is during vacation week. I'll check with Renee and Tracy to see if they are around or not.
Okay.
But
We'll do the best we can.
Yep.
Is that early? Gonna meet early because of the informational meeting, or just same normal time?
No, we can just let's meet the normal time, because the informational meetings have never taken very long. They take about an hour.
Okay.
And we don't have a lot of stuff to do
Do we have-
because most of our.
Do we have enough room here for if people
God,
come?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, if too
It'll
many,
be in the
we do.
multi-purpose
Yeah,
room?
we usually
Okay.
do that one out there.
Okay.
Okay. And then April 27th is the elections. All you have to do is worry about voting. But remember, on April 28th, the annual meeting's at 7. We have to be at the Dover Town Hall at 6, the board, to help count votes.
On the 28th.
On the 28th, yes.
6.
Usually takes about a half hour. Meredith usually brings pizza.
Like always,
Oh,
every
wow, that's pretty
every
sweet.
time I've ever done this, I've brought pizza.
Have you?
I've never done it.
Right. No,
Oh.
it's the people that won last year that have
Oh,
to bring the
really?
pizza.
That's how it
yeah.
works.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Got it.
And remember, it's a live meeting only. There's no him recording us.
For April 28th.
Yes,
Correct.
the 28th. And voting on the 27th.
And you said 5:30?
6. We count votes at 6 because it usually takes about a half hour. And then that gives us time to, because it's only two things, 2 people.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 positions. So it's not and they have to be commingled votes. You were there last year. No.
I was.
You-
I was, but I.
Oh, you were on the ballots.
Yeah.
So you couldn't count. Or you could
Um.
because you had no competition.
Right.
Okay. Usually, if you're running a contested race, we ask the people who are being contested not to count votes.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't look good.
So, on April 28th, the board comes at 6 o'clock, but everybody else, please mark your calendars for Tuesday, April 28th at 7 p.m. at the Dover Town Hall, which is up on the hill near the library.
9 Taftbrook Road
Yep.
in
Thank you.
Edover, Vermont. Edover.
Edover?
Edover.
Edover. Okay.
Not Weedover. Okay, so we're all good. Everybody's good with those dates. And then on May, whatever, the first meeting in May, we do our reorganization. Okay. Bob, personnel matter,
I think we put that on there.
because we weren't
because
sure.
of that, the earlier one.
Okay.
But we're not there yet.
So we have a student matter.
Yep.
Okay. So I need a motion to move an executive session for a student matter.
Just student matters? Okay.
Yes, just a student. We don't have to do the personnel matter.
Okay.
So, would somebody like to make that motion?
I can make it.
I'll do it.
Go ahead.
I moved and that.
No,
Let's make
no.
a motion. Oh, I'm not
It's
gonna
just this
Need
one.
a motion.
do it. Oh, yeah.
Second one.
Yeah.
Just
I
that.
moved to go into executive session for student matter under 1 VSA 313A7.
Second.
Okay, motion's made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Appears to be unanimous decision in the affirmative. It is. So we're out of executive session at 9:07. We've set the next meeting dates. I think we got 4 of them there. Well, there's no adjournment here.
Yeah, there is.
The never-ending meeting.
I have it. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. No, I closed mine for the next thing.
Oh,
No, there isn't one on there.
No, sorry, my
You're
bad.
here till next meeting. So, can I get a motion in a second to adjourn?
So
Kate moved.
Second.
Eli seconds it. No discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, folks.
That was a big
So
one.
I'm trying.